Welcome to Levi Stadium, the site of Super Bowl 60, and hopefully with the 49ers having home field advantage not only for the entire NFC duration of the playoffs, at least in their minds, but also for the Super Bowl this season, which will be hosted in approximately a month from now. The Seattle Seahawks are looking to spoil that in a match that comes down to the number one seed in the NFC. Winner takes the first round bye and the division. Loser gets relegated to the wild card and has to start on the road, either at Carolina, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, or Chicago, depending on what happens tomorrow when the Los Angeles Rams take on the Arizona Cardinals. The stakes are simple. Win, claim the number one seed in the NFC. The number one seed is the only seed in which these two can fight for among division winners. They'll get the first round bye between Seattle and San Francisco. The 5 seed can be attained by San Francisco or the Rams. That is with either a 49ers tie or a loss and a Rams loss should the Niners get the 5 seed. Seattle gets the 5 seed with a loss, and the Rams get the 5 seed with a win and a 49ers loss. The 6 seed will be attained by the Niners with a loss from them and a Rams win. The Rams will get the 6th seed with either a loss or a 49ers win or tie. And that's even if the Rams tie their game as well. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. Welcome to Santa Clara in the San Francisco Bay. It's a heavyweight battle between the Niners offense and the Seahawks defense. The stage is set. The lights are on. The Niners take the field in their rivalry uniforms with a chance to secure the top seed in the NFC and potentially a Kyle Shanahan Coach of the Year. Standing in the way is a familiar foe. The Niners offense is on a heater, and the Seahawks defense presents a very interesting challenge. Mike Macdonald's defense ranks near the top in many statistical categories. It's equivalent of Shanahan's offense in terms of effectiveness and creativity. There's not going to be a lot of blitzing on this game. Seattle's defense generates pressure at the 4th highest rate, 34.3%, but ranks 26th in blitz rate at 24.5%. Simply put, they can get a hold of 4 and can simulate pressure looks to disrupt a quarterback's timing and muddy its progressions with disguises. When they do blitz, the defense ranks 2nd in the NFL with a defensive EPA of minus .12. On the flip side, the Niners rank dead last in blitz rate and 31st in the NFL with a pressure rate of 22.6%. Robert Saleh plans to disguise coverages, bend but don't break, and make stops in the red zone. The disguises could lead to some Sam Darnold turnovers with the plans that they are putting up. The 49ers have to convert into touchdowns if they want to lead to turnovers. On that, the Niners' red zone offense has been outstanding this season. With a league-high EPA in the red zone of .21, the Niners have flipped the script from last season and been scorching hot. They also lead the NFL late-game success rate at 55.9%. The Seahawks rank 2nd in the NFL red zone defensive EPA at minus .18. And 2nd in the late-game defensive success rate at 39.6%. And it's about who's going to blink. The workhorse of the Niners, Christian McCaffrey, looked rejuvenated, and it could be due to the late bye week. With a chance of rain in the forecast, the much-improved rushing attack of the Niners will have to keep it going to remain on schedule from a down and distance perspective. The issue is that Seattle's defense is stingy against the run. The Seahawks rank 2nd in the NFL against inside runs with an EPA of minus .20 and 1st against outside runs at minus .19. Brock Purdy has been on fire as of late, and the running game has kicked into gear. But it's going to be tough sledding heading into this game on the night. Some numbers to know for the 49ers side as we look into this, and some keys to look. The offensive line is one of them, up against the Seahawks defensive line. It's the matchup of the game. The Niners' offensive line has been on the raid this season, has helped the run game get going over the last few weeks. But they're facing an elite Seattle front that's guys all across the line. Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy II have been one of the best defensive tackle duos in the NFL. DeMarcus Lawrence and Uchenna Nwosu have been solid as well on the edges. The 49ers need to get some traction up front to have at least somewhat of a sustainable run game with McCaffrey. The task gets even more challenging because Trent Williams is out for this game. If the Niners' offensive line can put somewhat of a fight, the offense has a shot to continue their high-level play. But if there are struggles both blocking the run and in pass protection, there may be too much on Purdy's plate to get something out of nothing. Which, speaking of Purdy, he has been stellar over the last few games. was shaky initially. His return from injury with a few bad plays against both the Cardinals and the Panthers has been a top quarterback since, leading the Niners to 6 straight wins. In his last 3 games, he has 13 touchdowns, throwing at least 295 yards in each game, while the offense is combined for 127 points. He's going to face his toughest challenge of the year. Not only does Seattle have a great front, but the secondary's been great all year long with a good corner duo of Devon Witherspoon and Enrique Woolen. The same defense forced Purdy into 2 interceptions in the season opener, and the Niners can afford those with how the defense is currently looking. If not Woolen, there's Josh Jobe opposite him and Nick Eamon-Worry as the slot corner. Purdy is a tall task ahead of him, especially with Williams out. He needs to make sound decisions, deal with a strong pass rush, and lead San Francisco's explosive offense against one of the best play callers in the NFL in Mike McDonald. While the offensive line versus defensive line matchup is the biggest of the game, Purdy is a difference maker for San Francisco and is likely going to be the big reason for a win or loss. Red zone is the last one. Both teams may have the ability to score on scoring sprees, but one advantage San Francisco has is the red zone. The Niners offense has been red hot in the red zone after a slow start to the season, ranking second in the NFL with a 66.2% touchdown rate on drives in the red zone. Since Purdy returned from his toe injury, San Francisco has been the top scoring offense in the NFL, averaging 35.8 points per game, and have scored 22 touchdowns on 30 red zone attempts in those 6 games. Seattle's a pretty good red zone defense, ranking 7th in the NFL by allowing opponents to score touchdowns on only 51% of red zone drives. On the flip side, the Niners defense and Seahawks offense are both middle of the pack in the red zone. How both teams score will be imperative in what should be a close game. Back in week 1, the 49ers had 5 red zone drives and scored 2 touchdowns, while Seattle converted only 1 of 3 attempts. San Francisco won by a score of 17-13. The Niners have been really good with scoring touchdowns in the red zone lately. For them to have a shot at winning, that needs to continue. Now for the Seahawks, looking at them. In the rematch of the ages with the 49ers in the biggest regular season game perhaps in franchise history, the most significant game between them in this rivalry since the 2013 NFC Championship game in the Legion of Boom with the Seahawks. So the first key is how the 49ers have been able to withstand many injuries throughout the season. Defensively, they haven't. The pass rush has been dreadful since Nick Bosa went down, and Fred Warner's absence has been a sizable issue for various reasons. They were 12-4 in part because the offense has been sensational, and the defense has been bend but don't break between D. Winters, Tatum Bethune, and the consistent play calling of Robert Saleh. Mac Jones was very good at running the Niners offense, and San Francisco took advantage of their schedule. The last couple of weeks have been a better test for their defense, and it really hasn't passed. But the 49ers offense have passed every test that was given to them, even when winning a couple of shootouts, just like last week against the Chicago Bears. Secondly, is what's different about the Niners from week 1 until now. Now, the injury problems are worse. They won't be able to pressure Sam Darnold at the end of a close game the way they did in the season opener. But on the other hand, they're significantly better offensively. Purdy's found the groove, and the run game has been better as a result. D. Winters is who the Seahawks should key in. If there's a big play to be made defensively, Winters is going to be the one to make it. San Francisco defense has been bend but don't break, but Winters has been a bright spot. As for a Niners position, looking at a distinct advantage over Seattle, probably quarterback. Purdy over the last 4 games completing 69.8% of his throws, averaging more than 250 passing yards per game, is putting up a 10.5% touchdown rate and a 1.6% interception rate, while also accounting for 3 touchdowns as a runner. Sam Darnold has been very good, but in a matchup where Seattle has so many advantages, Purdy is the one exception for this. In this one-on-one battle for the advantages. Offensive X factors for Seattle are going to be Sam Darnold possessing an opportunity for a legacy game. He's often questioned for his ability to come through in critical moments, but he was excellent down the stretch of his historic Week 16 comfort behind victory over the Los Angeles Rams. This game's going to be emotional due to his ties to the Santa Clara area and the 49ers organization, where he spent 1 year as the backup quarterback to Brock Purdy with the 49ers. Jackson Smith-Njigba is the second X factor offensively, of course. He began his campaign with a 9-catch, 124-yard showing against the Niners in a Week 1 defeat. That was the catalyst for an outstanding season for him and a possible Offensive Player of the Year candidacy. Clint Kubiak needs a star pass catcher to be his usual high-volume self in this game. Zach Charbonnet rushed for season-high 110 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Seattle's offense needs to establish a run against the 49ers. No Seahawks running back had 50 yards in the first meeting with the 49ers, and that's going to be key to fighting a well-balanced offense. Defensively, we're looking at the 3 X factors, Leonard Williams being the first of them. The Seahawks need their stars to be the stars, and Williams is capable of wrecking the Niners' offensive game plan, dominating the interior offensive line, keeping Christian McCaffrey from locating easy rushing lanes up the middle. It's going to make life difficult on the Niners' offense and Kyle Shanahan. Julian Love has been routing into form since rejoining the lineup from his injury. He recorded an interception he returned for 26 yards against the Carolina Panthers last week. Purdy's been excellent lately, so the Seahawks defensive backfield is going to have a tough time trying to force him into a mistake. And lastly is DeMarcus Lawrence. Getting pressure on Purdy in the pocket is crucial. Tank Lawrence has been good so far for the Seahawks with 3 sacks in his last 4 games. He's savvy and experienced, who has played in big games throughout his illustrious career, dating back to his years with the Dallas Cowboys. There's going to be more coming up for this game. No NFC South champion will be decided until tomorrow after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won against the Carolina Panthers. Tomorrow's game between the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons is now the spoiler game. Atlanta wins, Carolina's in. A tie or New Orleans wins, then Tampa Bay is in for this game. So now we go on to our starting lines, beginning with the visiting Seattle Seahawks. Under center is Sam Darnold. The running back is Kenneth Walker III. The outside receivers are Jackson Smith-Njigba and Rashid Shaheed. The slot receiver is Cooper Kupp. And the tight end is A.J. Barner. Offensive line from left to right, Josh Jones, Gray Zabel, Jalen Sandell, Anthony Bradford, and Abe Lucas. For the defense, the defensive linemen up front are Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy II. The edge rushers are DeMarcus Lawrence and Uchenna Nwosu. The inside linebackers are Drake Thomas and Ernest Jones IV. Outside corners are Devon Witherspoon and Josh Jobe. The slot corner is Nick Eamon-Worry. The safety duo is Julian Love and Ty Okada. Kobe Bryant is out with an injury as he is dealing with a knee issue. Okada is taking his place. On special teams, Jason Myers is the kicker, Michael Dixon the punter, Chris Stoll was the long snapper, and the return specialists are Rashid Shaheed and Derek Young. Now for the 49ers, as we look at their offense. Brock Purdy's under center, Christian McCaffrey is the running back. The outside receivers are Kendrick Bourne and Jawan Jennings. The slot receivers, DeMarcus Robinson. The tight end is George Kittle. Offensive line from left to right, Austin Pleasant, Spencer Burford, Jake Brendel, Dominic Pony, and Colton McKivitz. You remember, Ricky Pearsall and Trent Williams are out with injuries. Pearsall dealing with injuries to his knee and ankle. Williams out of a hamstring injury. Kittle is active today, or tonight rather, back from injury. We do have another injury return here for the Niners. We'll get to that later. Jordan Elliott and Kalia Davis are the defensive linemen up front of the defense. Bryce Huff and Sam Okwainonu are the defensive ends for the Niners. The inside linebackers are D. Winters and Tatum Feud. The outside corners are Diamador Lenore and Renardo Green, who's returning from a neck injury this week. Upton Stout is the slot corner. Safety duo is Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa. For the special teams, Eddie Pinheiro and Thomas Morstead, the kicker and punter duo. John Weeks is the long snapper. The return specialists are Sky Moore and Brian Robinson Jr. Jordan Watkins if needed, considering that Pearsall is out for this game. So as to answer the question, Lerox YD, I do stream the game in real time as a commentator. I cannot show the game for legal purposes because copyright infringement laws exist. So I do the play-by-play as I can for these games, the style of radio/TV. So that's the best I can answer this question. As to go on to our inactives to get Ian on board. Oh, it's been a while. Man, it's been a while. So our inactives for this game, Jalen Milroe is the emergency third quarterback behind Drew Lock. So Nick Callerup, Bryce Cabodu, Mason Richmond, Charles Cross, inactive on offense for Seattle. Jared Ivey and Kobe Bryant on defense for the Seahawks, inactive. So, Ian, it's been a while. How have you been?
Oh, I have been excellent. But before I continue on, did you just say Drew Lock is playing a quarterback?
No, he's the backup to Sam Darnold.
Okay, I was about to say, I may actually have to tune in for this game. Former Missouri Tiger and all.
Oh, the excitement was there right in your eyes.
And yeah.
Yeah, but as a backup QB, not bad on the spot. But nonetheless, boy oh boy, things are going to get dramatic tomorrow. And we probably know why. The spoiler game is now on. That if Atlanta wins, Carolina's in. Tie or Saints win, Tampa's in.
It's like, please let this be real. It would be so bleeping funny.
Yes, exactly. That's in the case Atlanta wins, who I'm pretty sure many people are hoping that happens, ourselves included.
Absolutely.
Now, this game is essentially for all the marbles, the NFC number 1 seed in stake. Now, there is a scenario where San Francisco falls to number 6. That's if the Rams win tomorrow against the Cardinals, which they should take care of with ease. The Rams are not eligible for the first round bye anymore. It's down to San Francisco or Seattle. But here's the question. If the 49ers get a first round bye by winning tonight, should Kyle Shanahan win Coach of the Year?
I mean, I don't see why not. Although, I would say, if the Panthers make it into the playoffs, even with a losing record, it should go to Dave Canales.
You know, I'm not going to disagree with that because Carolina has weathered this storm thick and thin. Whether they return here next year is an entirely different conversation because if they do win the division, that means they're getting a first place schedule. 8-9 is by winning the division. Well, okay. The Lords of Chaos heaven and all over this place. Literally and figuratively. A lot of fourth quarter comeback wins for the Panthers. And personally, I'll have to say, I give my tip of the cap to the Panthers for this season. Just get more consistency. Get more consistency around for next season. But then again, they're an eternal enigma. The good news about the Panthers is we've heard even less of David Tepper doing those things. And that's good. Oh. So now with this game coming up soon enough, in Santa Clara, the fireworks are going up. And this year, the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. So, perhaps the logical reasoning being, and get the FIFA World Cup being over here, there is going to be more FIFA World Cup action this summer. Can't wait to cover that soon enough. So there are scenarios all around the NFC. The 2 seed is between Chicago and Philadelphia. The Bears' path is simple. Win, and they'll get the 2 seed. They can also get it with an Eagles loss. The only way the Eagles can get the 2 seed is by winning paired with a Bears loss. Green Bay is facing Minnesota. The Packers are locked into the 7th seed. The Bears are facing the Lions this week. The Eagles, on the other hand, they're going up against the Commanders. As the Cowboys are facing the Giants. Because the final week of the season is divisional games only, as per the NFL rulebook. The 5 seed, 5 and 6 are up for grabs between NFC West teams. But now let's go to the AFC, Ian. The first round bye is between Denver, New England, and by some miracle, Jacksonville. So Denver's path is simple. Win, and they'll get the top seed in the AFC. They can also get it either by tying and with a Patriots loss or tie, or both a Patriots loss and a Jaguars loss or tie. For the Patriots, they'll need a win and a Broncos loss. They can also get a tie and a Broncos loss, or a win and a Broncos tie. Jacksonville needs 3 things to happen to them. First things first is that they have to win their game, which should be fairly easy to do, considering that they're facing up against Tennessee. Denver also has to lose their game. So Denver has to lose their game to the Chargers, which, to be fair, the Chargers are resting Justin Herbert for this game. They're turning to Trey Lance. Plus, the Patriots have to lose their game to the Dolphins for the Jaguars to have any shot at the 1 seed. So, in all likelihood, it's going to end up with the Broncos because they have the simplest path. The Patriots get the 2 seed with a win and a Broncos win. Either of the following scenarios. Win or Broncos. A win and a Broncos win. Tie and a Broncos win or tie. Loss and a Jaguars loss or tie. Or Broncos win and a Jaguars loss or tie. Jacksonville can move up to number 2, but they have to win their match and have either one of the Broncos or the Patriots winning with the other one losing. So in all essence, Jacksonville may be locked into number 3, given that the Patriots are going up against the Quinn Ewers-led Dolphins. For Houston and their NFC South Division title chances, they need to win their game, and by some miracle, Tennessee beats Jacksonville. By some miracle. What?
Well, so this game between the Pats and the Dolphins, where is it being played at?
So this game is going to be played. So what I do know is that the Bills are hosting the Jets. So let's take a look at the page. The Patriots are at home against the Dolphins.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. Unfortunately, Jacksonville, you're probably not getting the 1 seed. If it was being played in Miami, well, it wouldn't be the first time that Miami has scorned it wouldn't be the first time that Miami has put one over on New England to let another team jump them. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen in Foxborough.
When you think back to a decade ago, we're underway right now as this will be returned. No, it's not the kneel down by Rashid Shaheed, but there's a flag immediately as we say hello to our referee, Bill Vinovich, who is a 3-time Super Bowl referee. He officiated the Patriots and Seahawks Super Bowl. It's an illegal formation against Seattle to begin this game. So this penalty will bite them as they start their drive. Vinovich was also the referee for both Chiefs 49ers Super Bowls, by the way.
Yeah, he's also public enemy number 1 in the Saints. We are public enemy number 1 in New Orleans. We all know why.
Yep. Only one name. Nickel Roby-Coleman.
Yeah. Oh.
29.4 points per game are the Seahawks offense. Second in the entire NFL. Sam Darnold has turned it on at the right time. This is also an offense that leads the league in fumbles lost. First pass is to Shaheed, who gets blown up by Diamador Lenore after he caught it 3 yards as he took this one out of bounds. His offensive line that had his fair share of problems in the Russell Wilson era has been starting to turn a corner as of late. JSN, the lone Pro Bowler among the skill positions, between him, Kenneth Walker, and company. He is on the sideline for this play. 2 tight ends out here. Nick Callerup is the inactive. On 2nd and 7, it's a run to the right for Kenneth Walker and gets the first down. 8 yards for K9. And he's been better as the season progressed. Although Zach Charbonnet has been to start the show last week against Carolina. Tatum McFune and D. Winters are the linebacker duo. Fred Warner is trying to make a comeback to return this season in the case the Niners make a deep playoff run. Keon White is the starter opposite Bryce Huff on the edges. Motioning left is Shaheed, a trade deadline acquisition from New Orleans. Play fake to K9. Now a screen pass to him from Darnold. Breaks a tackle. First down. Gets a block from Bradford and shoves his way past the 40-yard line where he is down. K9 getting the nitty-gritty ready and up. And Gray Zabel again being the subject of a key block to set up a rushing lane for Walker to run through. Bradford missed his assignment on Malik Mustafa, which allowed a Walker to caught up by him at the end of the play. But they're in San Francisco's 39 right now. Trips right, one tight end left. Shaheed motions left. Now it's a stack formation on the left side. It's a run by Charbonnet. Charbonnet's tripped up. And a quick pickup of 6 yards by Charbonnet. Cam Akers, it's an elevation for the practice squad again to get the Seahawks free running backs in this game in their regular season finale. This is a team with 2 fullbacks on the roster, Brady Russell, third-year man out of Colorado, and Robbie Outs, rookie out of Alabama. They run on 47% of their plays, which is the highest rate in the NFL. And they like to set the tone by running the football, no matter if it's with Walker or with Charbonnet. JSN motions all the way as a low man to the left. Here is Charbonnet, and he gets blown up at the line of scrimmage. Welcome back. Well, excuse me, that wasn't Renardo Green, that was Malik Mustafa and D. Winters who were both in on that stuff at the line of scrimmage. They forced 3rd and 4. Winters blew past the C gap, and Bradford could not establish the block right on time to get Charbonnet right on the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 4. A field goal from here will be 51 yards from the left hash. Motioning left is Eric Sauber, who was not targeted until the 2-point conversion in the win over the Rams 2 weeks ago. Darnold checks down to Sauber, and that's a first down. Fighting for more yardage at the 24. That's an extra push, and it's down at the 23. Whistles blow. And a couple of weeks ago, Sauber played the hero for Seattle, the former Broncos tight end. He gets to his 3rd read. The first read was taken away. He was looking at Cup, then goes to Sauber, left side. And that was his 3rd read as he surveys his options in the presence of Sam Darnold. Calm and cool in the pocket. So far, he's 3 for 3, 32 yards. I formation with Outs as the fullback. What's on the outside right? Walker changes directions left side. It's away for 2 defenders. Tripped up by Green. He gets 8 yards out of this one, and welcome back Renardo Green. He missed last week due to a neck injury. And this 1-2 punch for the Niners is Renardo Green, the second-year man out of Florida State. Makes an impact on his first game back to prevent Walker from getting a touchdown. The Seahawks have a 57% red zone touchdown percentage, which ranks 19th in the entire NFL. The Niners' defense in the red zone is also middle of the pack. Here is Charbonnet this time. He'll get a first down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Excellent yardage here for this running back duo. And Eric Kendricks, another practice squad call-up, called up to the Niners defense on their regular roster for the regular season finale, just like he was last week against Chicago, and he was a practice squad call-up. The other practice squad call-up for the Niners this time is Brandon Parker, the former right tackle for the Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders. 5 rushes, 3 passes for the Seahawks. Barner motions left. He's the starting tight end for the Seahawks. Straight drop back for Darnold. Fires towards the end zone. Overthrows his man, but a flag comes out, and Lenore is upset about it. They're going to call pass interference on Lenore. He didn't think that he got JSN. Grabbed him at the top of his route as the pass was thrown his direction. Never turned his head around to play the ball. And yes, there was a grab onto his arm. That is textbook PI. And that gives the Seahawks first and goal from the 1. Smith-Njigba subs out for this play. And Lenore is running over towards the San Francisco sideline, subbing himself out after that. The 49ers are getting their big boys up front, readying for the run by Charbonnet. He's been money in goal-to-go situations here. It is Robbie Austin, the fullback. They're going with an extra lineman in his run. Play fake. It's Darnold looking for Charbonnet. Time runs out and he's sacked at the 13. Just the 19th sack of the season from the 49ers this year. Tatum Bethune, who's filled it admirably in the absence of Fred Warner, gets to the quarterback here for a monster loss. It's a loss of 12 on the play, and he came in untouched through the A-gap. Robert Saleh shouts him out. It's actually a loss of 11. The Niners have 7 fewer sacks than any other team and 3 fewer sacks than Myles Garrett has on the year. Charbonnet trying to get somewhere here after that monster loss. He can only get back to the 7-yard line, and it's 3rd and goal on this run to the right. It's an outside zone run. And Saleh knows what his defense is. His second go-around as a D coordinator with the 49ers from 2017 to 2020. He was their defensive coordinator for Super Bowl 54. Took the head coaching job with the New York Jets. And it saw tumultuous results. He saw through a chaotic year and a drama-filled year with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. Shaheed motions towards the right. They have to get the play off now. Clock shows 0. And Mike McDonald calls his first timeout. That's not what he wants to do with 8:09 left in the first quarter in a scoreless game right now. And with goal to go. And that sack from Bethune has really hurt the Seahawks a lot here. They need to communicate and get lined up. And do remember, Garrett did not get the sack record last week as he was held to no sacks against the Steelers. Yet the Browns got the win thanks to a touchdown pass from Shedeur Sanders to Harold Fannin Jr. Fannon's season, however, is over. He is going to get off-season surgery to address an injury. 8:09 left in the first quarter. The Seahawks had to call timeout because the play clock ran down to 0. 3rd and goal. We'll try this again. From just past the 8-yard line. Give to Charbonnet. Charbonnet is stuffed at the 5. Bend but don't break. That's the Niners' mantra on defense. And while they bent a lot, they didn't break. Jair Brown with a clutch stop. And it's 4th and goal. The Seahawks are actually going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 5. Or rather the 4. It is rare to go for it on 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. But do keep an eye out on Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's wide out towards the right. Darnold looks towards Jake Bobo, lofts one up. Incomplete, no flag on the play. Everybody was covered. And you wonder if Quint Kubiak is going to second guess his decision of going for it and not taking the points. Upton stout the coverage on Cup, slot receiver up and slot corner up against one another. San Francisco takes over when we come back. I'm telling you, Ian, these days, with more often you're seeing goal-to-go situations.
Well, that's because with how high-powered these offenses are getting, no one wants to kick field goals, which I completely understand.
Honestly, I don't blame you for saying that. With the Seahawks offense turning a quarter, and with the Niners offense being scorching hot, yeah, I get the logic. You don't want to give San Francisco a chance in this one. So the logic makes sense here.
Well, you also saw last week. You saw the absolute. You saw the OK Corral that was Soldier Field. Was it Soldier Field?
No, it was Levi's.
I'm sorry. The OK Corral that was Levi's Stadium between the Niners and the Bears. No defense to speak of until the very end.
Because Robert Saleh's mantra of defense is bend but don't break. And remember what I said. This is a unit that's less sacks on the season than Myles Garrett. That's saying something.
That is saying something. Good Lord.
Because without Nick Bosa, there's no pass rush.
No.
No matter the heroics of Bryce Huff or Keon White. And I get the logic of trading for White. You want to get the best out of this pass rush. But it's just not working. And it doesn't help that Bosa's out for the year. Michael Williams also out for the year. And Williams is who they spent their first round pick on to address their pass rush. And they both suffered torn ACLs. And San Francisco is going to take over at their own 4-yard line. And I know for the fact that on this opening drive, the coverage was very good one-on-one between Kupp and Stout. There was no contact between Renardo Green and Stout. And there was nothing there. Maybe you could have something quicker for Jake Bobo. Maybe a lob pass over him on the inside slant. And Darnold may have stared at his man for a little too long. Kyle Juszczyk comes out as a tight end in this play to begin. Here is CMC. And he gets driven backwards after a 3-yard run. Wow. You think about electrifying defense, you look at Seattle's defense. Brock Purdy missed 8 games with a toe injury, but ever since his return, he has been lights out and on fire. He's led the Niners to a 7-1 record in his games played, and the Niners have scored in 27 straight quarters, which is a team record, by the way. They're looking to extend that here before this quarter ends. 2nd and 7 with Purdy from his own end zone. Finds Juszczyk immediately. Ganged up by Tank Lawrence, Devon Witherspoon, Eamon Warry, Williams. You name the defender, they're right there. Shanahan is the play caller of this 49ers offense. And as an offensive genius, he knows a lot of the shots and the personnel that he uses. Kendrick Bourne takes the place of the injured Ricky Pearsall. Trent Williams is missing a game for the first time this season. Austin Pleasance takes his place on this underrated offensive line. Purdy outside, overthrew his man. That was Jennings he was going after. And it's going to be a free and out, a rare sight from San Francisco. Throughout this late turn, they'll send Thomas Morstead out to punt, the former New Orleans Saints punter. He's going to throw towards the outside, but he simply overthrew his man Jennings, who was going after. Morstead's going to punt out of his own end zone. He's averaging 43.5 yards per punt, which is second to last in the NFL. Rashid Shaheed has 3 return touchdowns on the season, 2 of them on punt returns, including 2 weeks ago against the Rams. Does he have a third punt return touchdown here? He doesn't, but he gets the Seahawks to midfield with 5:52 left in the first. A flag is out, and we'll have to get the call from Vinovich. It's a penalty against the 49ers for grabbing the face mask. That's Tatum Bethune who grabbed the face mask. Yeah. Well, not Bethune. That's Garrett Wallow, 49 in black. The 49ers are wearing their rivalry uniforms, which are dark with red numbers. So when we come back in Seattle, with excellent field position starting from the San Francisco 35, we'll return.
So, Switching sports here real quick, Alec. During the early season, one makes statements that are premature. I said the Blues were headed for a miserable season, and at the time, it looked like they were. They were starting off how they usually do, mediocre to bad, and then something clicked. They're scoring just enough to win. Their goalies are bailing them out. But there's one player that I want to highlight that I think he heard all of the criticisms everyone was saying. Because Justin Falk has completely given up on playing defense and said, okay, I'm just going to one-timer the puck into the net. And currently he has 11 goals and is now the fourth leading defenseman in goals scored.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he leads the team in goals.
Does he?
Yes. With 11 right now.
Oh, that's bad. I mean, it's good that he's scoring all those goals and they're winning, but oh my God. Also, when we get to a longer break, because I know we're coming back, we got to talk about Buffalo.
We have to. The Buffalo Sabres. Where did they come from? 10-game winning streak ever since we last talked about them. And they're now outside of a playoff spot by just 1 point. Yes, I get that the Florida Panthers are still around, but the Buffalo Sabres have come out of nowhere. We don't know if this is the year, but no team in the Eastern Conference has a losing record. The 49ers are 7-1 since 2022 against the Seahawks, including the playoffs. The one loss came with a Geno Smith rushing touchdown. The Seahawks trying to end the second such loss as Walker gets 4 yards on this. And once we get to a different break, we can talk about the Sabres. Maybe at halftime we can mention Olympics, because that is something I want to get into. The rosters were revealed by all the countries that participated in the Four Nations. And we'll say some are good selections. Some of them are, I don't know about that. 2nd and 7 as JSN motions as a lone wide out to the left. Shaheed opposite side. Quick drop back for Darnold. Finds JSN immediately. 5 yards as he gets driven out by Green. Clock is running. He's short the first down. With 5 minutes left, it's 3rd and 2. So he gets driven out by Renardo Green. Charbonnet takes Walker's place. Only one incompletion for Sam Darnold. That being on the opening drive, when he was going for Cooper Kupp in the end zone, passing on a wide open Jake Bobo. The single back is Charbonnet. Kupp motions towards the right, to the left of Rashid Shaheed. Has Green with him. Charbonnet runs for the first down. A lot more. Zach Charbonnet speeds by. Touchdown. One-on-one on the inside for Zach Charbonnet. Forget first down. He's got a touchdown from 27 with A.J. Barner opening the hole.
Well, Robert Saleh, for what your mantra says, your defense has been breaking quite a bit this and last week.
Extra point is good, but you can only do so much bending before you start breaking. Because last week it was a lot of bending. At the end they didn't break. But how much is this defense bent, Ian?
Quite a bit, and I think whoever they get in the first round, which, let's see, if San Francisco loses, very likely they'll be the 5th seed, right? They'll be the first wild card.
They can either be the first wild card with a loss, coupled with a Rams loss. But if the Rams win, the Niners are the 6th seed. So I bet an NFC West team would rather want to play Tampa Bay or Carolina in the first round than Philadelphia or Chicago.
Depends on the team, because Philadelphia is... I think Philadelphia is just a benefactor of benefactor of being in the NFC East. I don't take them seriously.
And that's saying something for the defending champions, of course.
Yes.
I mean, it's clear they miss Kellen Moore.
They miss a lot of things, but yes, they do miss Kellen Moore.
I mean, Kellen Moore is doing good himself with Tyler Shuck in New Orleans. So I think there's something there to be made with Nola. Now, if I'm Tampa, I'm turning into the biggest Tyler Shuck fan in the NFL. But if I'm Carolina, I'm gonna be the biggest Kirk Cousins or Bijan Robinson fan, whichever you prefer, in the NFL. Just funny how that works. Just division rivals reluctantly rooting for another division rival. Imagine such a world. No. Well, I know there's another division battle taking place tomorrow. Steelers-Ravens, in which this rivalry game comes down to that game. Well, I know what to expect from my team, but for the Ravens to fall from Super Bowl contender to fringe playoff team is alarming for them.
I gotta be honest. Yeah. The Lamar Jackson era of the forget that. The John Harbaugh era of the Ravens is coming as it has been underwhelming, to say the least. He better thank his lucky stars that the remnants of Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and a quarterback performance not seen in an age from Joe Flacco got him that ring, because otherwise he would be another legacy of failure.
Ooh. And not to mention, yeah, we did mention about a lot that happened right in Super Bowl 47. But 49ers fans are still mad at that no pass interference call in the end zone on that fourth down throw from Colin Kaepernick in the Super Bowl. Right, so the Niners start from their own 35. Speaking of San Francisco, and up the left side, McCaffrey gets stuffed. Forced to just 1 yard. Boye Mafe came up to him, limited him to just 2 yards. It is not 1. But this Seattle defense is elite, and we all know it. An elite unit that's not been seen back to the days of the Legion of Boom, when they were one of the most historically dominant defenses in the league, with Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Cliff Averill, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, and Purdy sacked here by Wright's former team.
Yeah. Although I would argue the Legion of Boom is another defense that underachieved what they were supposed to be.
Well, 2013 was their magnum opus of dominance. Let's not get it wrong by any means.
Oh, absolutely not. And truth be told, they should have had 2 rings among them, if not for,
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Seattle still doesn't speak of that. And it might not speak of getting short of the first down on this pass to Demarcus Robinson. Kyle Shanahan has his options to weigh. The offense is going to come out for a punt from Thomas Morstead. Huh. Go figure. Okay. I know it's not Madden, but kudos to Ernest Jones and Devon Witherspoon for the tackles there. Thomas Morstead has 21 punts inside the 20. and 1 touchback. Morstead sends it off. This will be a fair catch signal from Rashid Shaheed at the 18-yard line. So going back to the Legion of Boom, as I mentioned about KJ Wright, yes, he was a longtime linebacker for the Seahawks, but in an ironic twist of fate, he's now a coach with the 49ers as a defensive quality control coach.
Cool. Hey, you know, whoever's gonna employ you, right?
Yeah, even if it is your defensive rival from your playing days. If you're a rival from your playing days, that is. I mean, not bad at all. So now, headed back to Buffalo with the Sabres peaking at the right time.
I don't see. We've seen this before, and this is what scares me. Because with all the victories they had, which was 10 up till now, they just lost 5-1 to the Columbus Blue Jackets. So the big question that everybody, including their fan base, is asking is, like every other season, was this winning streak an outlier in a season of disappointment? Or will this loss, this pretty bad loss, be an abnormality? And will be an abnormality for this season, and they'll get right back on their winning ways.
Because let's take a look at the results. They beat Edmonton 4-3 in OT, sweeping them on the season most impressively. Yes, they beat them at Edmonton after a Connor McDavid game-tying goal. So that start the winning streak. The Oilers are leading the Pacific, but every Pacific Division team has a negative goal differential. Beat Vancouver 3-2 there. They beat Seattle 3-1 there. Beat Philadelphia 5-3 at home. Beat the Islanders 3-2 in a shootout at home. Then win at New Jersey 3-1. Win at Ottawa 3-2 in OT. Beat Boston at home 4-1. Then on the road, St. Louis 4-2 winning. And the best win for the streak was the last one. A 4-1 win over Dallas on the road.
Please, Buffalo, please make your identity the team. Make your identity the one that allowed you, that gave. Make it the one that won you 10 games in a row for the rest of the season. Please, Buffalo.
That's what we all are praying, that they find their identity and that they may come into their own. Finally, as a team that should end this playoff berth, they come so close, yet there's something that gets in the way. This Kenneth Walker run went for, let's just say that it went for a big gain. It went for 20 yards. A big hole opened up from the right guard side. Here is Walker again, trying to find an edge. This time the Niners crowd him. Jordan Elliott and Eric Kendricks both there, and Walker roughed up on that. 2nd and 9. Right afterwards, it's Quint Kubiak who left for an offensive coordinator spot with the Saints under Dennis Allen. He looked to have turned a corner that year with Derek Carr and company. Then Carr retired. And the Saints looked to be stuck in mud with Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck, but then they found a solution with the quarterback problem. Shuck. Cut motion left. Here is Darnold for the shotgun. 2nd and 9. Through the middle. Caught at midfield for the first down. 11 yards for number 11. They're going to say 12 yards. And Kyle Shanahan knows what the Seahawks are capable of. And let's not get this twisted. The Seahawks that of today are very different from the Seahawks from week 1. And the 49ers of today are very different than the 49ers of week 1. As the got worse defensively, but much better offensively. Seahawks, better defensively, and better offensively too. Just 2 yards by Charbonnet as Jair Brown got up to him. And that should likely be the last play of the first quarter as they're laying this run down. 7-0 Seahawks. The 2-yard run by Walker. And Seattle has just ended the scoring streak of the 49ers. Are they going to run with one more play? No, they are not. Oh, there's a flag down at the end of it. There's a flag out. So wait on a second. So look like we were at the end of the quarter. We'll check the penalty. Wow. A.J. Barner called for a false start with 1 second left in the quarter. So they have to run one more play to end the quarter. Actually, no. So Barnard flinched. So it'll be 2nd and 15. And afterwards, it got a little too jumpy at the end of it. As we look like we're going to go to the end of the first. And we will. 2nd and 15. When we come back, out now by Ian Genge. Stay with us.
So now that we're getting further into the NHL season and we're starting to see, well, actually, no, we're not really starting to see what teams are going to be because week to week it seems like one rises, one falls, and that team falls. The other team rises, and then it's just the only thing we're consistently seeing is, well, the teams we thought were going to be bad are still bad. That being Nashville, Vancouver, and Calgary. But I mean, the standings really are just in flux. Always.
Yeah. No team in the East has a losing record. Still, even the last place Blue Jackets have a winning record.
Yeah, that's insane. And also, hey, Alec, at what? Okay. We all know who are the top teams, right? But we all know. Even though, no, actually, no. Your Hurricanes beating the Avalanche right now isn't that surprising? Because the Hurricanes are a top team, but I just have. At what point is Minnesota finally going to get off the snide and actually do what they should have done many years ago and finally win it? To trade for Quinn Hughes in a move no one saw coming. You're third in the Central. You're not catching Colorado. No one is. But you're third in the Central. You're consistently winning. When are they going to push through?
Oh, this can all come back to the playoff format discussion and all of that, because people advocate for the playoff format to go back to 1 through 8, and honestly, I am one of those people. Here is 2nd and 15 on the first play of the second quarter. Darnold throws outside. JSN breaks off one tackle, stays in bounds, gets a first down, and there he goes! He has a block! No, he said that he stepped out. It is not a touchdown. It was a missed tackle. We have to see where exactly he stepped out. In. And then he stepped out at the 37-yard line. It is not a touchdown. He got a block from A.J. Barner. It is not a long touchdown. He saw they stepped on a piece of white grass. So it's as much of a bummer as it is, rules are rules.
Rules are rules.
Oof. So it would have been nice to see him get a long touchdown, Ian. On the right side is Charbonnet. He's got one touchdown. He's trying to go for another long one. He gets a first down. 11 yards before the stop by Malik Mustafa. And still watching onwards in that Carolina-Colorado game. It's 3-1 Canes. Both of the Avs regulation losses have come on the road. They still do not have a regulation loss at home this season. That's some truly historic stuff, and it's not normal to even witness.
No, and this Colorado team is giving me it's giving me the feeling of the Joe Sakic Avalanche. You remember the ones that traded for Ray Bourque and gave him that hero send off.
2001.
Yeah, the ones where that they just came out firing.
Yeah.
But again, and actually, I think you said it months ago, but the only reason Edmonton got to the finals last year was because Colorado was just because Colorado didn't have the horses.
They fell apart at the worst possible time. In this game, Sam Okwainanu, yeah, that's his last name. I had trouble pronouncing it last week, but I got it this week. He forced a loss of 4. Kenneth Walker was tackled immediately on the handoff after Darnold threw it away on first down. So that's just the second incompletion for Darnold. The second one was a throwaway, so it doesn't really count. But it does count statistically. Not going to hold it against him. The pressure was very good from San Francisco on first down. Motion left is Walker. Darnold swings to him. He gets some blocks and runs into his own man and gets ran over by Upton Stout, the rookie out of Western Kentucky, to force a field goal from Jason Myers.
Yeah. So here's an intriguing question for you as we wait for Myers to kick the field goal. Oh, wait. Oh, here it is. I'll ask the question after the outcome of the field goal.
This is a 47-yard kick for Myers, the former New York Jet, from the left hash. He's been outstanding this season, and here he missed it wide right.
Oof.
The announcer jinx has prevailed again.
Yes, it has. So here's my question for you. Say the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, and Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champion. Do you think that he will be looked at? Who do you think he'll be looked at more? Will he be looked at as a Joe Flacco type, who won with a good defense, but also wasn't just a freeloader? Or do you think he'll be seen more like a Trent Dilfer, who had his contributions, but everyone just remembers the bullies of Baltimore?
Now, that depends on what perspective you take. Darnold, let's go on to the additional context here. Darnold went to the worst situation he could possibly go to start his career. That being a Jets team that not only had Todd Bowles as their head coach in one of his first few years, but later Adam Gase. We all know how that went out. Then gets traded to Carolina with Matt Rule as the head coach, and that spelled disaster in the making. He was in terrible situations. What he needed was a refresher to be in the right situation. 1 year as the backup quarterback in San Francisco helped him out. And then go over to another offensive system that benefits him with the Minnesota Vikings and Kevin O'Connell and Wade Phillips. Wes Phillips, not Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips is defensive. Wes is offensive. But that was one of the best situations he could end up at. And that helped out revive his career with Justin Jefferson. Sure, that ending was unceremonious, but it led him an opportunity in Seattle. And so far, I think yes, he has come under fire for his inability to deliver under the bright lights, but I'll say this. What a turnaround his career has had. We'll wait and see the final outcome, but for now, he's leaning more towards an in-between of the two of them is for the moment. But let's take a look at his career stats post San Francisco for this. And let's just say lately he's been leading more Flacco type. That's my answer. So the Niners take over after the missed field goal, and Purdy floats it over defender's head to Kittle, who takes this for 6 yards. So there's your answer, Ian. Flacco type.
Flacco type. I'd have to agree.
Yeah, so big body QB, but he elevates his team around him. He's not the prettiest option, but he does grit and grind and get the job done. 2nd and 4 after Kittle, in his return to action with the 49ers, caught that pass. Purdy, Seahawks send 5. McCaffrey gets the first down. Past midfield as he was chased down by Ernest Jones, who is back in the NFC West. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams against the Cincinnati Bengals as one of the starting linebackers, and he's carved out a solid role here in Seattle as one of their 2 inside linebackers alongside Drake Thomas. He has 899 receiving yards this season, and if he hasn't come close to eclipsing 2,000 total scrimmage yards this year, he's close to it. Purdy dumps off for Jennings, read nicely by Tariq Woolen. Loss of 1 as he blew up the screen on the right side. No blockers coming in with him. And Woolen, who has had an up and down season, who's finding himself in and out of the lineup between him and Josh Jobe, getting an opportunity to get himself back on track with that one. There are 2 receivers towards the left. Now 3 receivers with Bourne motioning as the lone receiver all the way at the left, wide there. 2nd and 11. Seahawks bring pressure. Purdy, high throw, knocked out by Thomas. It was a high throw, and Jawan Jennings got shaken up. After the matter of fact, he did get back up, but that had the capability of being a hospital ball. Came close to it, but he came up under his own power. He has to sit out a play. Ooh, yeah, he got hit on the elbow, but him getting back up shows his toughness. He's going to sit down for 1 play. He is banged up on his head. You can feel the pain that he is feeling. And he's wincing on the sideline. He broke 5 ribs earlier in the season. But he's still wincing in pain at the Niners sideline. Empty set for the Niners. 3 left and 2 right as Purdy gets away from the pressure. Goes right side. Trying to get for the first down. Lunges ahead. But it's nowhere close. Kayakata, the first down saving tackle. The injury substitution with Kobe Bryant out for tonight's game forces a 4th and 1 situation. And Kyle Shanahan will have his hands full on this one. Okada filling in for the injured Bryant. 4th year out of Cincinnati. Okada in his 1st year out of Montana State. Offense is staying out there. And why not? Why not? You're in opposing territory. You don't want to give Sam Darnold a chance to drive the ball down the field. And timeout is taken here by Seattle, I think. And it is a Seattle timeout. They want to adjust their defense. They want to challenge that one. I thought he was challenging that one, but let's be honest, the play was not challengeable. He wants to challenge the spot the football. He's not challenging the first down. He wants to challenge the spot the football. But he told the official that he didn't mean to throw the challenge flag. He meant to call a timeout. So a timeout's called, and basically, Ian, there's really nothing to challenge here.
No, which is weird. Why they signaled challenge. It's not reviewable. Then it comes to find out, they just...
Yeah. The closest thing to review was the spot the football, but even so, that's less clear. Either way, he's short.
Yeah.
4th and 1, and motion left is Juszczyk. Here's a play fake to McCaffrey. Purdy is under duress, has to get rid of it quickly, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Juszczyk. Excellent pressure by Seattle to force that turnover on downs. Was a right idea, but an excellent counter. Seattle's defense has allowed just one first down in this game, and Tariq Woolen is having himself a redemption night. Turnover on downs, Seattle will take over when we return.
Yeah. Also want to point out, because I just saw a post about it. Congratulations to Austin Matthews. For passing Leafs legend Matt Sundin in all-time goals.
In Maple Leafs franchise history.
Yes.
Well, Sundin will be remembered forever in Leafland. Matthews, of course, it's been uphill and a downhill battle throughout. Will they, won't they break out of this slump of getting out of the second round? Because we know last year was pain. This year has been, oof, Maron. You're breaking Steve Dangle.
I look at his videos. He used to be funny, but at some point, he goes, this is no longer screaming angry Steve Dangle, even though that's what I'm doing. This is, what are the Leafs going to do, Steve Dangle?
This is the stage of bargaining at this point in the stages of grief. Not the stage of anger.
Speaking of bargaining, how many years left on his deal does Austin Matthews have?
All right, let's check Puckpedia for the Austin Matthews contract. It is a short-term contract. Well, it's a mid-term contract. This is second of a 4-year deal.
Oh, the second of a... I was gonna say, do you think they trade Austin Matthews and just say punt?
Oh dear Lord.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we just saw the Dallas Mavericks trade Luka Doncic.
Oh no! They're playing right now with Cooper Flag. You don't have to break that up. Oh my goodness. No. First down, by the way. And with Seattle massively outgaining the 49ers in total yards, and they keep on coming. Lights, camera, action, Jackson. They're in San Francisco territory again, but it's been trench warfare all throughout. Come on, Ian, that's foul. Did you mention Luka? That was foul.
Listen, people, you gotta understand. Alec here is the nice one. I'm the one that Alec is nice, and he will tell you the facts. I'll just tell you the facts.
In the comedic tone. Oh, here's Charbonnet. 2 yards here. Well, let's just say for a moment that comedy's about to be achieved if Carolina can make the playoffs with a Atlanta win tomorrow.
Oh, good Lord. Let it happen.
Please let the. And Sam Darnold is the 5th quarterback in NFL history to win at least 13 games in 2 consecutive seasons. He joins a Hall of Fame list that includes Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and Brett Favre. Darnold is the only one to do it for 2 different teams on this list. This is nowhere close to a first down. It's 3rd and 4 after a 4-yard run from Walker. But let's be honest. Darnold leading 2 different teams to at least 13 wins in back-to-back seasons. That's actually impressive.
Although you would have the detractors say something to the degree of, he went to teams that had Justin Jefferson and Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Well, that's true. But, however, Darnold is a talented quarterback in and of himself. He also needs the right situation, and he's developed into one of the best QBs in the league, and he's run for a first down. He got hit at the end, but it was not towards the helmet as he was sliding down. No flag is out. The pressure came with the Niners rushing 5. And most impressively, Seattle has made more than just about 75% of their plays in San Francisco territory tonight. Amazing. Darnold's not known as a scrambler, but that time he used his legs to get the first down up the middle. There is an injury here at the end of it. It's on one of the 49ers. So we'll step away here. There's also one other thing I want to point out. I know the Winnipeg Jets made that miracle win last year again, but this year it's been a different tale. What on earth is going on with Winnipeg this year?
Alec, I think most of us were saying it last season. That was Winnipeg's last. That was Winnipeg's shot. They had to have that one, and it should have been known that when the Blues were coming into the Blues building and getting mollywopped, which they were losing by at least 6 goals per game, per playoff game at Enterprise. We should have known they weren't going to keep up.
They were not.
No, and Hellebuck is Hellebuck. No matter what he may look like in the Olympics or in 4 Nations, everyone knows who Connor Hellebuck is in the NHL and the NHL postseason.
However, Hellebuck has not looked like himself, especially after coming back from injury, which was the first major injury of his career.
Yeah. So, in short, they're going to be looking to offload some people. You know what? At this point, just send Taves to Detroit. Let him go. Let him go with Kane for one last go around. Maybe Detroit will reach the playoffs, and John Ott won't, and our friend Mr. Ott won't have to go scorch earth on Steve Eisner.
You know, realistically, there's a world where Detroit makes the playoffs this year with the way they're playing. D. Winters was the injured linebacker for the Niners, so he's off to the blue tent to get further evaluation. Here is Walker up the middle. He gets to the 25. That is 6 yards through the A-gap. Jair Brown to tackle. And Hellebuck, speaking of the state of Michigan, he is a Michigan man. Of course, with his reputation, he's going to be named to the Olympics no matter what. We're going to talk about that more when we get to the halftime report. Because all the rosters have come out. among the teams that participate in the Four Nations. Eric Saubert, the man in motion, he's the second tight end on the Seahawks. 2 receivers are out here along with 2 tight ends. Here's Walker again. Another first down. And the Seahawks keep on giving it to the 49ers, well, barring this penalty. It looks like it's coming back for hold. It is. Gray Zabel, the rookie left guard out of North Dakota State. You know a lot of North Dakota State products like Trey Lance, a former 49ers quarterback who's going to be playing tomorrow, starting for the Chargers as the backup to Justin Herbert because Herbert is going to be rested tomorrow. This would be 2nd and 14. His penalties have slowed the Seahawks down. He is one of 12 rookies to start every game this season. Zabel. 2nd and 11. The penalty was a yard short of the first down. Here's Darnold. Flings it outside for Barner, who is pushed out of bounds. It's 3rd and medium for Seattle. This is 5 yards for Barner's Jason Pinnock, who forced him out. So the Hurricanes and Avalanche have started the 3rd period. And the Canes are leading. We know what the Avs are capable of. This will be the 24th play the Seahawks will run in 49ers territory out of 32. Shotgun set, 2 left and 2 right. Niners bring pressure. Darnold, he's one to the end zone. Tipped up and broken up through double coverage. And it's both Green and Brown who were in on JSN. They knew the matchup they wanted, and they keyed in on him.
Yeah. You know, I was about to say before that play, Salah, maybe it's time to worry less about bending and more about breaking your opponent.
So far, the Seahawks are just living comfortably in the Niners zone with this 45-yard field goal attempt. Myers missed a 47-yarder, and he made up for that one. He makes this one from 45 for the left hash, and it's 10-0 with 5:19 to go in the second quarter. So, Alec Nava, Ian Genge, you of you, we're sticking with you. 1 win, and they'll clinch home field advantage for the entire NFC playoffs. The Niners are trying to come back and win this to clinch home field advantage for the entire playoffs. Do remember, Levi Stadium is where Super Bowl 60 will be this year. Oh, so now as we're stepping away here for the break, we're now looking around for all the scenarios. Those here. So in the AFC, let's check the wild card scenarios. Jacksonville can either be the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, or 7 seed in the AFC. Now, the likely seed that Houston will end up is the 5 seed, given they're facing an already collapsed Colts team. So, Houston wins, Jacksonville wins. Jacksonville's number 3 in all likelihood. Houston's number 5. Jacksonville gets number 5 of a loss, plus a win by Houston, and with either the Chargers winning and 3.5 or more combined wins from either one or all of the Giants, Commanders, Packers, Cardinals, 49ers, Patriots, and or Ravens. Either that, or in the case of needing another team to lose, Buffalo has to lose for Jacksonville to get the 5 seed. That can only happen with Jacksonville losing and Houston winning. The Chargers are likely falling to number 7 because they're going to be starting Trey Lance. Buffalo I don't think they're going to be resting anyone. So in all likelihood, they're going to beat the Jets, and the Chargers are going to lose. Texans win, Jaguars win. That's a likely scenario for Buffalo to be number 6, and they'll start on the road against Jacksonville. Josh Allen has not won a playoff game on the road in his NFL career, by the way.
Look, if this is the year, if there has ever been a year for Buffalo to do what they haven't been, to do what Jim Kelly and those Bills couldn't. It is this year. The Chiefs are on the mend. The Ravens are tripping over themselves. Except for the Pats, who are suspect, your entire division still is a walking dumpster fire. If you don't get it done this year, you're never getting it done.
It's time. And even so, we're still skeptical of the Bills' chances. Because imagine saying this at the beginning of the year. Jacksonville is the team to beat in the AFC. I don't know if that says more about them or about the state of the conference right now. But I think it's more about the state of the conference.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with the state of the conference. Let me see, though. Yeah, Jacksonville... See, here's the thing. The more dangerous conference is the NFC. And that's only because they have the teams from the NFC West. And imagine saying this at the beginning of the year. The teams in the NFC West and the Bears. Everyone else is suspect.
That's all there is to it. So after a penalty for Myers kicking the kickoff out of bounds, here's Nick Eman-Wari with a loss of 5 right on George Kittle. He's one of 2 finalists for Defensive Player of the Year. It's a loss of 6. Here's Purdy again. Flanks middle, immediately brought down. McCaffrey, Devon Witherspoon with the stop right after the catch, and Seattle's defense doing all the nitty-gritty. The third-year man out of Illinois. And somewhere, the Illini have to be smiling, with Witherspoon thriving on Seattle's defense. He knows that McCaffrey's coming out of the backfield. He immediately makes a tackle. The 49ers are back to the original line of scrimmage. Jawan Jennings, who had to stay out after taking a hit in the previous drive. Purdy gets away from the pressure, rolls out towards the left, blinks towards the sideline, caught for the first down. Jennings trying to get some extra room, cannot. And Witherspoon shut the door on him. It is 13 yards for Jennings as the Niners wanting to find some rhythm here. Drake Thomas has been carving himself a bigger role as of late. It's clear that we're looking at the best division in the entire NFL, and it's one that we are taking seriously now. The Seahawks playing their best football since the years of the Legion of Boom with Sherman, Chancellor, Thomas. Ryan Robinson Jr. gets the rock this time around. He gets about 6 yards with Drake Thomas with the stop. And Thomas, the third-year man out of NC State. So the former Wolfpack member from college football. 2nd and 4. With 3 minutes left in the second quarter, McCaffrey subbed out for that play. We could see him coming back for a future play if he does. He went to Stanford, so his college is just around the corner at Palo Alto. Total yards are 193 to 57, Seattle. Roll out, Purdy has to get rid of it quickly. Caught. And making it to a first down was George Kittle on a jump ball. Purdy was pressured as he threw it. And he just got away to George Kittle. I'm back, he says. The Seahawks blitzed 7 on the play, and Purdy got it off right on time to an open Kittle. When it looked like it was going to be tackled short, Purdy jumped up for the throw, and Kittle turned around to shake off one of the tacklers and fought for a well-earned first down. We're at the 2-minute warning now. The 49ers trying to get on the board here tonight and make this interesting. The pressure on Tank Lawrence was nice, but what a play by Purdy and Kittle. Wow. Oh. So we now know that the NFC is the better conference between the two of them. We know for a fact that the AFC has been a revolving wheel, or a revolving door of who even wants to win this conference. Is it New England? Well, we have doubts about them because of that schedule. And even so, if they face a healthy Chargers team, I think the Patriots may be in trouble.
Well, and there's also it probably won't affect this season, but we know what's coming in the off season. What could possibly be happening in the off season for the Pats?
Well, there's another thing. Stephon Diggs and Christian Barmore being involved in legal issues.
Yep, there's that. Has there been any chatter if that will affect the Patriots roster come this postseason?
Well, we haven't had any word about that. The only word that we got is that Barmore's arraignment is on early February, and I mean way before the Super Bowl. Diggs' arraignment is scheduled for 2 days before the AFC Championship game, if the Patriots even make it there.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a really tough times here for the Patriots. And somewhere I said, on a Discord server that I called the Patriots, I said that the Patriots are beginning to turn into the New Age Dallas Cowboys. And I feel these two legal issues may be signs of it.
Yep.
Oh, we're 2 minutes from the halftime. The 49ers trying to get points. Anything. Seattle is getting the best that they can from this defense, and they have Brock Purdy's number. Purdy has been noticeably off his rhythm, and that's kudos to the Seattle defense. The 49ers will receive the second half kickoff as McCaffrey. The A-gap closed off, but he does fight for 3 yards. They have all 3 timeouts with them, and they're in Seattle territory. If you're the 49ers, you may want to think about a touchdown here. George Kittle has now passed Terrell Owens for the second most career receptions in 49ers history. The only one that's ahead of him is none other than Jerry Rice.
Yep, that tracks.
And we're realistically seeing Kittle possibly going down as the greatest tight end in 49ers history. Little Philly special here as Purdy flings this towards the right side for McCaffrey. How about that for a little trickery? Well, it's not a pass by the tight end, but it's a run towards the right, then a flip, and then back to Purdy for a fake end around. Maybe we can call this a reverse Philly special. Burden free as D. Winters comes out the medical tent. He does not have his helmet on. He is going to get further evaluations. We don't know if he's going to return tonight. The Niners are 1 for 4 on the night on third down. They have averaged 51% third down. Purdy escapes the pressure. Gets tripped up. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Uchenna Nwosu with the stop. It's going to go down as a sack. But Purdy was able to get back near the line of scrimmage and fought for it. The Niners trying to cut it to a 1-possession game, and nice hand by Nwosu to at least trip him up right by the feet. The former Charger holds him off. And we'll have to see what the call is from Kyle Shanahan and Clay Kubiak. And Shanahan has no answers here for the Seahawks even. It was the Seahawks who took the timeout. Yeah, and do remember, Clay Kubiak is the brother of Clint Kubiak. He's a year younger. They're both the sons of former Super Bowl winning head coach Gary Kubiak, who won it with the Broncos in Peyton Manning's final season. This is a 48-yard try for Eddie Pinheiro up the middle. And on the money from 48 yards out, the Niners are on the board. A strong kick from the second/third kicker the Niners have used this season after Jake Moody was cut after the opening week. They tried out Moody, then Pinheiro. There was a third kicker that they used this season. Special teams has been a wild tale for the 49ers. That was Matt Gay being the other kicker they used. Eventually, they went with Pinheiro the whole way. So, and they stuck with him 27 of 28. All right. Oh, Andrew, good to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you both, too.
Oh, how's everything been?
Good. I was curious if you're paying attention to this all-time jersey matchup, Hurricanes-Avalanche.
Oh, the Nordiques and the Whalers. Love it.
You're a fan? You don't think it's a stolen valor?
Oh, man. It's an all-time jersey matchup for sure.
The people in Hartford, Connecticut, and Quebec City, Quebec, are fuming right now. But you're a fan of it?
Yep. It's an ankle injury for D. Winters. He's questionable to return. But, oh, man. How does Colorado keep doing this? They came back from down 3-1 and now they're up 4-3. How do they keep doing this?
Because Freddie's in.
Well, and I believe the Avalanche are just playing the role of the night guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria as Darnold gets munched up alive. Second time he's been sacked. Okwainanu this time for just sack number 20 of the season for San Francisco. And Seattle is just intent on running clock out. The pressure of, we know about bend but don't break in about this San Francisco defense.
True.
Yep. And I'm surprised that San Francisco called timeout beforehand. Darnold flips it out before he was sacked. This will likely be the last play before halftime. Are they going to clock the ball? They're going to... Yes, they're going to clock the ball. No question, they're going to go for it right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, Happy New Year, I guess. Seattle leads 10-3. Well, here come the fireworks. Gotta get something. Yes, it is the first broadcast that I'm doing of the new year in this winner-take-all stakes. Well, anyone remember when Ohio State missed a game-winning kick as the ball dropped on New Year's at the strike of midnight and Georgia went to the national championship?
That was only a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Felt like it's just yesterday. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, what do you think of the final 4 teams remaining?
Cinema. Pure cinema. I mean, you got Indiana versus Oregon in a rematch of one of the Big Ten matchups this year. And then you got 2 teams of destiny. If you count Indiana, that's 3 teams of destiny left in the college football playoff. Indiana, who has been bad in college football years before Kurt Signetti came over. You got Ole Miss, who lost Lane Kiffin to LSU. Pete Golding has done the best out of his work here, and so has Trinidad Chambliss. And Miami. Oh, baby, Miami. Mark Fletcher Jr. and Carson Beck, Mario Cristobal, Ruben Bain. They're leading the way here for the Hurricanes. And the committee made the right selection putting Miami in over Notre Dame.
You think so? Ian, you agree?
After seeing them, after seeing their performance, after seeing their performance against Bama, and I won't elaborate, but I will say this: the entertainment value that Michael Irvin brings alone is worth the selection.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bring the belt out and smack the brick wall, putting a belt to you-know-what.
So, but what do you guys think of Notre Dame sticking their nose up at everyone and saying, we're too good to join a conference and we're too good to play in America's national treasure being the Pop-Tart Bowl?
Well, I see them as petulant children. That's how I see Notre Dame. They're petulant children, and they thumb their nose at a true honor of college football.
Yeah, you have to be proud of getting selected to a bowl game no matter what. But to just opt out the Pop-Tarts Bowl altogether, it's blasphemy at all fronts. Come on, man.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I got a buddy who's a fan of Missouri State.
Oh, yeah.
Who had a winning record this season and still didn't get selected to a bowl because of eligibility rules. I guarantee you, he would have loved to have seen Missouri State in the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Any team would love to go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. It's an honor.
Absolutely, except for the weird flavors they tried out. Whoa.
Well, I'm gonna be honest.
Never missed a flavor.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've tasted a lot of. I've tasted some Pop-Tarts on my way to some classes over at college in the past, and they're delish. Oh man.
True.
So
now, what's your guys' top flavor? For me, I'm blueberry.
Ooh, that's a strong one. This is a bit of a specialty flavor, but I once ran through 2 boxes of s'mores, of s'mores flavored Pop-Tarts in one night.
Ian, I think s'mores is an OG classic flavor. I don't think it's a specialty.
Oh, is it? I don't really know the timeline.
What do you think, Al?
Oh, I haven't. It's been a while since I last tasted some Pop-Tarts, but chocolate chip cookie dough. Oh my!
Oh.
Those are dangerous.
Bro, chocolate chip cookie dough, anything is dangerous.
Just what in the? Oh man! I gotta bring. So I know for a fact that there are going to be a lot of predictions for what's going to be in the national championship. So who you guys got for the national championship?
I want Indiana in. I don't care against who. I want them in.
I think Indiana steamrolls.
You know, I got Indiana versus Ole Miss. Indiana the whole way.
I think if Chris Signetti's able to pull this off, GOAT coach, better coaching season than any Nick Saban season.
Ooh, there we go. So we all got Indiana going the whole way.
You know, that take tastes like a ghost pepper, but you know, I agree with it.
All right, so now they did reveal the rosters of the hockey teams in the Winter Olympics for ice hockey.
I saw it. No Bedard.
Yeah, no Bedard for Canada, but they did add Celebrini, so that gives them Canada 5 superstars to rely on. Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Sidney Crosby, and now the 3rd leading point scorer in the entire NHL, Macklin Celebrini. Is there
Nobody
any?
threw old man Crosby in there.
Oh yeah. Can can any team catch up to Canada at this current rate?
You don't think the Americans could beat them? I mean, you know, it was a heavyweight fight at the Four Nations last year.
I know for a fact that the Americans are going very Four Nations heavy this time around for the Olympics. And yes, much of the same roster is back. Yet, let's keep in mind, this is running it back with most of the same core. But the mysterious subtraction is Adam Fox, who should have been named to the roster. That was textbook scapegoating for 1 point and 1 play alone. And that was the game-winning goal for McDavid. They scapegoated him for that 1 play, completely ignoring that he was a positive impact for the Americans throughout the Four Nations. And he was playing hurt too. He was not at fault for any of that. When you add Seth Jones, he has to be an addition, not a replacement for anyone. If you're going 4 lefties and 4 righties, let's say Noah Hannafin is the odd man out. Keep a core of Quinn Hughes, Jacob Slavin, Zach Werenski, and Jake Sanderson as the lefties. So you have Fox, Charlie McAvoy, Brock Faber, and Seth Jones as the righties. That sounds fair?
Yeah, that's a tough team to beat.
Yeah, that's a solid defensive core. The Americans, however, mysteriously left off Jason Robertson. Last year, I would have understood that because Robertson started off slow. This year, though, he's on a tear. There's no excuse to leave him at home. Now, if there's an injury replacement, he has to get the first call from Bill Guerin. No excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Because JT Miller is not having the start that he wants. Austin Matthews not getting a 60-goal pace is no problem with that because a 40-goal pace with him is acceptable. Everyone else can play their role that they have. You had Tage Thompson with his booming shot. That helps out too. The Kachuk brothers are going to be back there. Matthew Kachuk is going to come back from injury. However, I have more questions than confidence about Connor Hellebuck in this go-around. Because Hellebuck is coming back hurt, and he hasn't looked like himself this year as opposed to last year. But it should still be the best goaltending trio among any group coming into the Olympics. Canada will for sure be the best country in competing in hockey. This time around for them, goaltending looks more like a strength than a weakness because you sub out Aiden Hill and Sam Montembeault for Darcy Kemper and Logan Thompson, 2 elite goaltenders in the league. And if Jordan Binnington falters, you can rely on either Kemper or Thompson to sub in, and you'll have no problems there. What say you guys?
Well, so I had seen the full roster, so I'm looking at it right now. It's not bad at all. I'm actually very intrigued to see Jack and Quinn Hughes play together. This will probably be the only time we get to see that happen.
Yeah.
But I don't see any issue with the roster itself. Maybe there's a goalie that I would have subbed out for I don't know. Swapping of Hellebuck would have been one of my suggestions. For who though, I don't really know.
Yeah, it's really tough to replace, and even though a .907 save percentage is not ideal by his standards, I think the only other option that we can consider, besides Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, and Jeremy Swayman, is Spencer Knight.
I mean, honestly, oh wait, did you say Swayman and Knight are on the roster?
No, I said Hellebuck, Ottinger, and Swayman are on the roster. I said that the only other option that we could consider among the goaltenders is Spencer Knight.
Well, honestly, Spencer Knight hasn't been horrible. In fact, early in the year, he was one of the better goalies in the league.
Yeah. The thing is, though, with Chicago, without Bedard, the team is falling apart.
This is true, not to mention Nazar, too. As soon as they lost Nazar, that was it.
Yeah, it's the whole... It's simple. Without these two, the whole team falls apart.
Yeah.
Oof. So any predictions on gold medal? Who wins it for ice hockey?
Probably Canada. I'm going with the easy answer. Probably Canada.
I wouldn't put my money anywhere else.
I'll say until there's another country that can prove they can match Canada tape for tape, it's going to be Canada until further notice.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Now, what do you guys think for other sports? Because today there was speed skating Olympic trials. You know, I mean, you got some good Americans and some good Canadians and some good Norwegians coming in for cross country skiing. Biathlon's always a fun watch. And then now you got ski mountaineering this year, which is a new Winter Olympic sport.
I don't know, man. I gotta be honest. Outside of hockey, the only time I ever watched any of the other sports was when Lindsey Vonn was doing her thing and Shaun White on the snowboard.
No skiers.
I like watching skiing. I just don't know any names.
Well, same here. And with snowboarding, it's much of the same thing. Curling is another sport that could be of note. Well, outside that, we'll give you the groups for men's hockey. Group A consists of Canada, Czechia, Switzerland, and France. Group B has Finland, Sweden, Slovakia, and host country Italy. And Group C has United States, Germany, Latvia, and Denmark. Those are your groups for the men's hockey. And this opening kickoff is bobbled by Robinson. He has to run up before he gets caught up, and he's able to get this to 12. Disaster for the 49ers to begin the second half. So for the women's side for the tournament, the groups are for Group A, Canada, the United States, Finland, Czechia, and Switzerland. And Group B is Germany, Sweden, Japan, the host country Italy, and France. Those are our groups for the women's hockey side in the Olympics. McCaffrey, opening handoff, gets pushed further, and he gets some breathing room all the way to the 18-yard line. The 17 is 2nd and 5. So, but we'll be looking at the Winter Olympics at Milano Cortina, along the sites through the Italian administrative region of Lombardy and through northeast Italy near the Alps. First down conversions this year, 51% offensively for the Niners, 32% defensively for the Seahawks. McCaffrey again tries to spin his way out of it, but only gets 1 yard as he ran right into Drake Thomas and Ernest Jones. Just a gain of 1, nothing more. That's a familiar result. It's 3rd and 4 for San Francisco. So now you're looking at third and medium. So you want to get this off. Throughout. 3rd and 4. Shotgun set, trips right, 1 left. 1 man in motion as the Seahawks send 4. Purdy steps up, fires towards the right side, jumping up wide open to Marcus Robinson. It's a big first down catch for the former Baltimore Raven, former Kansas City Chief. 13 yards for Robinson.
And former Los Angeles Ram, let's not forget.
Yeah. as he was last year when with Matthew Stafford, as he is lining up on the outside. Now he's in the slot, kept his feet in bounds, getting separation with Josh Jobe. From the 31, motioning left and right, it is Luke Farrell. Purdy well protected, jumping up McCaffrey. Second straight jump ball catch. This time McCaffrey, he gets 8 yards. Drake Thomas was all over him. They'll say he got 7 yards out of that. It'll be 2nd and 3. And while he has been healthy all year long, the big loss with Ricky Pearsall, not having him in his separation, are loss for the 49ers. That he's a speed option and can get separation. Purdy able to keep it. Left side. First down. 5 yards. George Kittle. Here's another catch for him. Oh, I don't want to say a pun here, but some of these catches are really feeling crunch-tastic. That's something he said in a Little Caesars commercial. Don't mean to bring up pizza all of a sudden, but feeling that sort of way. Purdy is 13-16, but has only 71 yards to show for it. Seattle is taking away the yards after the catch. Juszczyk motions right. Here's the give to Brian Robinson, who gets 3 yards. The third running back on this team is the rookie out of Oregon, Jordan James. It's 2nd and 7. James was the starting running back for Oregon last year when they had Dylan Gabriel as their QB. Dante Moore is projected to go in the first round in this year's upcoming draft, projected to be a second quarterback off the board after Fernando Mendoza, who is a Heisman Trophy winner. Many are saying that he's going to end up being the Raiders' pick this year, no matter who gets the first pick between them and the Giants. Fake the handoff, Purdy under pressure, and down he goes! It is Jaron Reed. A little celebration of a little tribute to the Colts mascot, Blue. And Seattle is not feeling blue. They're feeling all systems go with action green in their sights. As Reed shed off the block and forces a loss of 6 yards. 3rd and 13. And Brock Purdy has been rocked and under duress all night long. Purdy, Seahawks send 5 here. Under pressure, gets it off. Nobody there. Good job by the Seahawks defense to force an errant throw from Purdy. And it's Nick Emenwari, one of the 2 finalists for Rookie of the Year, alongside Carson Schwarzenegger of the Browns. This defense has seen a lot of versatility with Emenwari. Zone coverage this time around, everybody was covered. And it lined up as though they're in man, but they disguised the man coverage when it was zone. Here's the punt from Morstead. Stepping up to Shaheed. He gets a block immediately, and then some more bodies on the return. Shaheed has an entourage. Shaheed upended at the 37. A good return on his end. Saron Neal, the former Buffalo Bill, upended him after a 20-yard return. So we'll be right back as we get a nice look of one of the bridges here at the Bay Area. Boy, is this a sight. All right, so now that we're at the break, so we're in agreement that Canada is going to win the men's hockey tournament, and honestly, it's them until further notice. There's the feeling in me that at some point they're going to take Jordan Binnington out if he continues his bad play, because there are several other goaltenders that have better stats than him this season, but I understand why he got the call. It's its reputation, especially when it comes to the Stanley Cup and with 4 nations.
Yeah.
So, let's say we'll give him one more chance. He'll get the start. I think he gets the start on the first game. If it doesn't go, then Let's say Darcy Kemper takes his place. If not him, Logan Thompson. I'll have to check statistically, but no Mackenzie Blackwood, or Scott Wedgwood, for that matter, is a shock. Both are good options for Colorado and Canada for themselves. Just to look at the stats right now, Darcy Kemper has a save percentage of .913. Logan Thompson, on the other hand, has a save percentage of .913. So they're pretty even on the save percentage. Nothing wrong there. Oh, Toronto and the Islanders are in overtime right now. Let's not waste any time with this. Just cue the goal. Islanders, cue the goal horn. Islanders, here's usually win these games against the Leafs.
Yeah.
I mean, but how about Emil Heineman? What a year he's been having. I'm surprised. Well, Sweden had some options, though. Seems that Rasmus Dahlin may be in line to be one of their only true superstars. Every one of the major countries has a true superstar. Canada has 5 of them. To get back into action with Seattle leading the way. Quick drop back for Darnold as he dumps out for Walker, who's blown up immediately. It is Eric Kendricks, the backup linebacker who's called up for the practice squad, getting the tackle right on K9. Do remember, Kendricks was called up in a case of injury. And him being a longtime veteran in the NFL, it does help his case. He gets a second chance to breathe here. From Clovis, California, he went to college at UCLA. 2nd and 8. Shotgun set, Shaheed motions left. It's Darnold to throw. Niners send 5. It's a screen set up for Walker. Nice block for a first down. And he runs it out of bounds. Just a little past midfield. Runs over the 49er defender. The Seahawks are at the San Francisco 48. Earlier today, it was a 4-1 win by the Penguins over the Red Wings. And a nice block by Zabel on the left side on this screen setup. Quint Kubiak knows the 49ers. His brother Clay's there as the offensive coordinator. Motioning right is Eric Salbert. Robbie Outs is the fullback. Toss right side for K9. Has some nice blocks to set things up for a nice run and then some more. Plays blown dead despite it looked like forward progress did not stop. So instead of a gain of 10, it's a gain of 7 or 8. They'll say 8. Robbie Outs with some good blocking as the rookie fullback out of Alabama. Comes up huge on that toss play right side. Jake Bobo was put on the field. He was used in some situational areas for the Seahawks. Motioning right is Shaheed. On 2nd and 2. This will be another give to Walker. And he is met by Mustafa at the line of scrimmage. Malik Mustafa came up from the free safety position and did not let him go right on his leg. And there is an injured Seahawk. Josh Jones, the injury replacement for Charles Cross, who is down. Cross is out with a hamstring injury. Jones has battled knee issues. Abe Lucas is the starting right tackle. So the only other active offensive tackle for tonight is Amari Kite, rookie out of UCF. He would have to fill in at left tackle if Jones is going to miss some time. He did get up, so Kite's going to step in and fill for at least one play at left tackle. We'll step away. And yes, as we predicted, the Islanders won. It's just destiny at this point.
Yep. So let's, you know what? Yeah. Okay, get ready for that Steve Dingle video if he even feels it's necessary at this point.
Well, if he doesn't want to continue LFR, he doesn't need to. It's breaking him at this point. Well, we didn't expect Matthew Schaefer to be named to the Olympic roster, even though he scored the game-winning goal for this game for the Islanders. But the 18-year-old from Hamilton, Ontario, could be named to a future Olympic roster. I think this Olympics is the last go-around for Crosby on Canada before Connor McDavid gets named Captain Canada for World Cup of Hockey 2028. So, for that in advance, and then Canada can think about the future and hear whatnot. They're in good hands because after Crosby, you're getting Bedard. And it would intrigue people what a World Cup of Hockey Team Canada roster could look like. Maybe this year, some last hurrahs and in the international stage between Crosby and Brad Marchand, who are 2/3 of the Nova Scotia line, given that they are both from Nova Scotia. Crosby and Nathan McKinnon are both from Halifax. Marchand's from Hammonds Plains. So among left tackles, Charles Cross out for tonight with a hamstring injury. Josh Jones left after the last play. He's going to sit out for this sequence. So Amari Kite is filling in. He's the rookie out of UCF. So he's going to fill in for this play. Number 79 in white. Single back is Charbonnet for a 3rd and 2. Ball at the San Francisco 40. Cop motions right. Charbonnet gets it. Cuts back again, and he's dropped! Diamador Lenore followed him up and made sure that he did not get past the 45. It'll bring up a Michael Dixon punt. That is the play of the game of the 49ers. That Lenore followed him and made sure that he did not get any breathing room one-on-one and grabbed him by the feet. Charbonnet was patient, but Lenore too was patient. Dixon has 19 punts inside the 20 with 3 touchbacks. He sends this off. Fair catch is signaled by Sky Moore, the former Kansas City Chief. And a missed opportunity for Seattle to take advantage here. It'll lead to a golden opportunity for San Francisco to take advantage. Up against this elite defense, it's going to be a tough task. We'll find out if the Niners can score a touchdown here. 6:47 to go in the 3rd. Well, Tampa Bay is back. And you know what? Wonderful. And I actually mean this, seriously. It's wonderful that they're back in meeting business. Plus 32 goal differential, 25-13 and 3. We don't know for certain if Florida is even going to make the playoffs because this Eastern Conference is extremely loaded up and down. The Panthers are banged up. And you know, they lost in the Winter Classic yesterday, and it was a beatdown by the Rangers. The Rangers of all teams.
Yep, the Rangers.
Oh my good. How is the Rangers are such a strange case. They're not good at home, but whenever they go on the road, they just pound people.
Yeah, I have no logical explanation for it.
And quite frankly, Ian, the Rangers don't operate by any logical explanation this year.
Nope.
They'll just say, screw it, Igor, if you please. And here's Igor, doing the carry job of carry jobs. Last night, he stopped 36 of 37, with Mika Zibanejad scoring a hat trick. Artemi Panarin scored twice. Igor, yes.
Oh my lord. So, Alec, you know how we were talking about how the Blackhawks, they're not the same team and they're basically dead? Well, by all metrics, they should be. However, have you looked at the wild card picture for the West recently? It's still pretty tightly packed.
Very. Handoff up the middle, and it is 3 yards immediately as he was dropped. The officials have to step in so as to get these two rivals separated. We know that NFC West rivalries are tough, and these two teams have a history. Think back to the NFC Championship game in 2013-2014 with Richard Sherman breaking up a possible game-winning touchdown to Michael Crabtree in the end zone, leading to the interception by Malcolm Smith. And then that interview. 2nd and 7. Shotgun set from the 49ers. Motioning left is Juszczyk. Purdy. Here comes Buffet. Pass up the middle. Angle route. Caught. 1 yard shy. And guess who? CMC. 6 yards. 3rd and 1. So yeah, you mentioned that Western Conference picture. It's still up for grabs as anything else. And separating, and 4 points separate Seattle, who has the first wild card, from Chicago, who are 3rd to last in the West. It's crowded out there.
Yeah. And until someone decides to pull away, the West is top heavy.
Very.
And somehow the Blues are 1 point out of a wild card spot with let me go ahead and look real quick.
I'll give you that. Minus 39 goal differential.
Yeah. For context, listeners, they have a worse goal differential than the Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators. And the last place Winnipeg. You heard that right. The last place Winnipeg Jets.
Niners are punting. Shahid calls for a fair catch at the 31. Oh my god. It was a 3rd down stop on DeMarcus Robinson by Devon Witherspoon that limits him to just 1 yard. And San Francisco is having a very tough time against Seattle. But I will assure you who's not having a very tough time out there, the Kraken. Well, at least in the wildcard standings, the Seahawks are having the time of their life right now. The Kraken, it's been a very up and down year. The Western Conference is just, let's just say, the Central Division is doing the carry job of carry jobs.
Yes, and Minnesota is one of them.
I'll say,
and so is Dallas.
I'll say that a Central Division team is going to represent the Western Conference in the Stanley Cup Final this year.
Yeah, most likely. Hopefully it's the Wild. Will likely be the Avalanche, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, the Avalanche are a buzzsaw, and that's putting it lightly.
The Avalanche are in fact a buzzsaw. It would be such a shame if they fell apart a la 2019 Lightning.
Well, 2023 Bruins.
2023 Bruins, but there's no 1-8 matchup anymore. The magic is gone.
Yeah, the 1-8 magic is gone these days. Well, I just can't see any of these wild cards giving them a tough matchup for Colorado in the first round. I think it's going to be a brutal second round matchup, and whoever wins in the second round between Colorado versus either Dallas and Minnesota goes to the Stanley Cup final.
Yep, agreed.
Yep. So, going with ladders and cutes, Sam Darnold climbed up the ladder last year. He started 14-2 in the wild card in the final week of the season. It all came going down. Back-to-back stinkers. This year he's 13-3. One more win, and he'll have the same record as last year. The only losses that Darnold led Seahawks had this year to the Niners in Week 1, the first half Buccaneers in Week 5, and the Rams in Week 11. The Seahawks have not lost a game ever since. Bobbled handoff! Charbonnet falls on it to prevent further damage. Darnold was going to the ground, and Zach Charbonnet recovered the ball right before the 49ers could even recover that botched handoff. Darnold tripped on the handoff. Oh, good Lord. Could have been worse, but Charbonnet recovering it saved a disaster. They were really fortunate that the 49ers didn't pick it up. That was 94 Yetur Gross-Matos, who was the closest Niner to it. It's a loss of 7 off the botched handoff. Seattle wasted down here. Darnold surveys his options towards the middle. Broke it up. Bethune knocked it away. The man that he was targeting was A.J. Barner, who was one of the heroes of that comeback against the Rams 2 weeks ago. So now it's third down here for Seattle, 3rd and 17. A.J. Barner went to the locker room previously, and now he was on the sideline of his helmet. Eric Sauber is the backup tight end. Pitch to Walker, trying to get as much yards as they can. Walker getting some extra yardage. He got the first down. 3rd and 17. They do a pitch play and it worked. Wow. They did this with Zach Charbonnet before, and it was a whole bunch of holes that were left open all throughout. John Lynch has got to be furious at that. He can't believe what he's watching. 3rd and 17. That was perfect run blocking by the Seahawks. 303 left. Play fake to Charbonnet. Darnold. High pass, but it's caught anyway. JSN. How do you do? Takes it to the San Francisco 37. It's been all Seahawks here throughout, and they have clearly dictated the pace from the start, and we expect this to continue on to the finish. Over the top. That was not an easy play to make. That 3rd down run from Walker was what set this up. 5 catches, 71 yards, 14.2 yards per catch. Darnold on a play fake. Well protected. Now runs out of time. Swings it out for Charbonnet. Charbonnet into the open. Stays in bounds. Gets a first down. Another gain of 10 plus for Charbonnet. A lot of plays by Darnold to find the open man that is Charbonnet. On the right side. And 10-3. Darnold's doing it all. Throwing it into all places. 14 of 18. Or 88 yards. There is someone who is hurt D. Winters was hurt earlier, and now the other linebacker, Tatum Bethune, in his second year at Florida State, he is hurt. That means that both linebackers were hurt for the 49ers. Winters is questionable to return of an ankle injury. And here, Bethune, it needs attention with 1:58 left in the third. So, we're staying here. But how many more injuries can the 49ers take?
Not a lot.
How many more? What is going on? I'm just in disbelief. The Colorado Avalanche did it again. Yes, they won. Down 3-1, they win 5-4. Or 5-3, excuse me. How do they keep doing this? It's just amazing. There's just no stopping them. You can't stop this team. You can only wish to contain them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. That looked auspicious at the line of scrimmage, but Alfred Collins, the other rookie for the 49ers, has made a major impact. They want to boost on this defensive line. Collins got a hand onto the ball, was tipped at the line. As he got his hands up right opposite Anthony Bradford, batted the ball down. So Collins, the second round pick out of the University of Texas. 1:36 left. And the Niners already banged up on defense. They cannot afford to lose another body. Inside field goal range. Here's Charbonnet. Shakes off one tackle. Ganged up just 1 yard past the line of scrimmage. Cleveland Farrell, Eric Kendricks, Alfred Collins, as we just mentioned about him knocking down the ball for the line of scrimmage. He subs out. And Seattle may want to put the ball in Sam Darnold's hands for 3rd and 9 if they want to seal the deal here. But 3 points, you want, but even so, 3 points in this situation feels more like a touchdown, given the way that Seattle has played. Kupp is all alone at the right side. 2 receivers are to the left. Darnold throws left side. Shaheed never turned around. Now a flag comes in. Shaheed never turned around to play the ball. Yet they call it pass interference. We'll have to take a closer look. Renardo Green is flagged for pass interference. It looked like he interfered on the throw to Shaheed. And yes, it was interference. He was held on the jock strap. So, I understand Shaheed's anger there. The throw was there. It's an easy call. And Kittle was not happy about it. You cannot hold someone on the jock strap with the throw being towards them. That is a penalty all day. 51 seconds left in the third. K9 gets the rock, and he gets munched up. Keon White, acquired at the deadline from New England, forcing a loss of 2. This has been much of a defensive battle, and we expect this to be the rest of the way. 30 seconds left. What's coming next is going to be the last play of this third quarter. Robert Saleh, Mike McDonald, 2 defensive geniuses. 2 receivers to the left. Motioning right is JSN. Darnold pitches up on a shovel pass to Charbonnet. And gets 5 yards back. And that should do it for the third. Seattle leads 10-3. And what has been a defensive trench warfare. The fourth quarter's next. Can Seattle hold on to the 1 seed and the NFC West? San Francisco trying to come back, looking to clinch home field advantage for the entire playoffs, looking to host the divisional round, NFC Championship, and the Super Bowl. We'll be right back. You have to point that out because the Super Bowl is at Levi Stadium, as I say time and time again. If the 49ers at the 1 seed, they'll have home field advantage for the entire playoffs.
Yes. They will. But I will also... But even if they were to get the one seed, I don't... There are other teams that can beat them. I mean, despite the fact they beat the Bears, I still see the Bears fixing their defensive woes and putting one on them. Not to mention, even if they manage to beat the Seahawks, I can see the Seahawks beating them. I can see the Rams beating them. Can't see the Packers or whoever comes out of the NFC South.
Well, the Packers, they are cursed to be the eternal 7th seed.
Yeah. Even though their first year as the 7th seed brought us unquestionable hilarity.
Yeah, because, it sent the Cowboys to a downward spiral. And then they poached their best defensive player away from them. Well, Scratch poached their best defensive player away from them. They since poached their 2 best defensive players away from Dallas. And Micah Parsons via trade, Trayvon Diggs via waiver claim.
Yep. Oh, man.
I mean, Diggs is a ball hawking machine, and he hasn't been himself this season. Maybe he could get another shot under Jeff Halfway and his defensive crew. Maybe. We're starting the 4th quarter here at San Francisco and in the Bay Area. Santa Clara, near the south side of the Bay. This Bay Area is one of the largest markets in the NFL. Under Kyle Shanahan, they are 1-38 when trailing entering the 4th quarter by at least 7 points. 1-38. The only win was a divisional round win against the Green Bay Packers. 3rd and 7. Cup. Motion sources left at the right side. Darnold drops back. Gets away from the pressure. Finds a wide open Sauber. And he's met at the line of scrimmage. The Niners hold the Seahawks to a field goal. And that is Jair Brown, who came up for the safety position for the stop. Jason Myers will come up for the kick. It's actually Upton Stout from the slot. To force that stuff, this is a 31-yard attempt, easier for Myers this time around. He missed from 47 and made from 45. From the right hash, it's going to be 4th and 6 for this kick. Put them up 10. And he did it. 13-3. The score is the same record as the Seahawks. And everything has gone right for Seattle tonight. Well, as things continue to go better for the Seahawks, the 49ers facing an uphill battle. Maybe they're the ones seeing ghosts. We'll be right back. Oh. Yeah, I know what I did there. So now, man, these standings have been all over the place in the NHL. Who would have thought the Islanders and Flyers would be numbers 2 and 3 in the Metro this year? Nobody.
No.
Let's be clear. Matthew Schaefer has changed the culture of the Islanders around. And several Islanders players are having bounce back or career years. Looking at the cases of Bo Horvat, career revival, leading scorer on the Islanders. Matt Barzal, career revival. And it's Schaefer who's leading the charge. Easily the team MVP. Kyle Palmieri, revival. Emil Heineman, breakout year. Simon Holmstrom, breakout year. A year which I thought that the Islanders are going to be selling off pieces at the deadline. Well, no need to do that anymore. thoughts about that. And now, I just have no words to describe the Steelers versus Ravens game tomorrow, except expect another crossover episode of That's So Raven and Days of Our Steelers.
Oh my lord. Oh. So what do you think? So what do you think would sell better, Days of Our Steelers or That's So Raven?
I mean, Days of Our Steelers is a classic, but so it's instant. So the answer is pretty obvious here. Days of Our Steelers.
Yeah, that's true. Although, to be honest, if the Ravens lose, I get to see Chris Broussard on First Things First on Monday be in lamentation, and that will be hilarious.
Yeah. Here is the return by Ryan Robinson as he takes us back to the 30. Oh my. It feels that if these rumors are true, then all the Ravens are doing are hurling Lamar Jackson under 10,000 buses when he's clearly not at fault for their shortcomings. If these riffs are going through. Time possession is 27:56 Seattle, 17:49 San Francisco. The total yards, Seattle 269, San Francisco 105. The 49ers have gained just 105 yards on the Seattle's defense. And it's a testament to how good Mike McDonald has been coordinating this defense. Brock Purdy lost this one deep, wide open. That is Kittle, near midfield. They both needed that one. 20 yards after the return from Robinson to the 30. This gets them to midfield on a wide open coverage. One of the rare mistakes from the Seahawks on the night, leaving Kittle wide open. Between him and Jake Tonjes, the tight has been the strength for the 49ers. Here's Purdy. Going to look, steps up, escaping the pressure. He fakes the throw. Now he's going to run it himself. Purdy lunges ahead for the first down. Wrapped up on the legs by Ernest Jones, but gets the advancement and the placement favorable to him for that first. 11 yards on that carry. He beat out the blitz with a scramble. Now Purdy is a situational runner. That time he did run, though he doesn't run a lot. And he did. 16-20 here as Purdy fakes the throw. McCaffrey on a draw play. He gets to the 35-yard line. 4 yards for him. Byron Murphy II has 7 sacks on the year. He was the one who made the tackle. He's going to sub out. He's a little banged up on the play. And he is in a little bit of a discomfort. He's talking to the coaches on the sidelines. So the 20-yard completion helps set this drive. The 49ers having their best chance of getting a score here in this game. Purdy, quick throw outside right. Taking off is Robinson, 2-25. Another first down. 10 yards for Demarcus Robinson. The crowd is getting in behind his office. Now we got a skirmish on the Seattle sideline. Jawad Jennings got right into the face of some Seattle players having an earful from them. But the officials have to separate the two of them. So everybody has to regroup and huddle back because Jennings and Devon Witherspoon were pushing and shoving one another all the way to the Seattle sideline. And that obviously got Jennings irate. I would imagine that the officials have issued a sideline warning as a result of that. Shotgun set, use chick motions left. Purdy's going to throw again. Airs this one towards the right side, wide open! First and goal! And guess who? Jawan Jennings, who was in a skirmish last play with Witherspoon. And that's one of the biggest throws of the night by Brock Purdy tonight, as he's come alive here in this fourth quarter. Low screen here. And the elevation that Witherspoon could not get enough. He was too much in front of the play ahead of Jennings. From the 9-yard line, 15 yards on this catch by Jennings. Here's a run by McCaffrey up the middle. 4 yards out of this one. And you would expect more yards per carry out of him, given that he's one of the best running backs in the league. A lot of speed, but he ran right into a brick wall. Not much for him. 116 scrimmage yards per game. He's third in NFL history on that regard. But he has just 53 tonight. He's been more of a non-factor tonight. And Seattle has keyed in on him to take him away from the game plan. 6 plays, 64 yards. 2nd and goal. Purdy to throw it. Look towards McCaffrey. Trying to shake it off. And it's taken away. Right off of McCaffrey and into Drake Thomas's arms. The ball may have been tipped. Thomas took it away. John Schneider is loving that. Don't know if it was touched, but it went off McCaffrey and onto Thomas. How in the world does McCaffrey not get that? It's a rare miscue from McCaffrey. When it looked like the Niners had a shot getting back in this, it was ripped out of that hand. Just what in the absolute wide world? We see something new. Because McCaffrey usually doesn't drop that pass. First takeaway by the Seahawks defense as Charbonnet gets ran into by a brick wall. Go ahead, Ian.
It's week 18. What used to be week 17 in the NFL season now. Are we really surprised?
Well, we see something new every day. But we don't expect this from McCaffrey. 2nd and 9. After Charbonnet was stopped. Darnold from his own end zone. Wide open. First down catch at the 18 by JSN. A good throw from Darnold as he's right on the money. Renardo Green, the coverage, but wow. When you think you got everything in going, and then this happens. There's a great route by Jackson Smith-Njigba, who is having the season of his life. Charbonnet gets stuffed again. 1.5 yards on the game. Under 9 minutes to go. Geno Smith, Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold. Darnold's now the third QB in Seahawks history of at least 4,000 passing yards and 25 passing touchdowns in a season. So he joins Russ and Geno in that company. Second and 8 as Kenneth Walker motions all the way to the right, all alone at that side. From the 19, Darnold. Pressure coming from his right. Goes towards the right side. He's going to run with it. And he gets shoestringed. Jason Pinnock with the tackle. Third and 2 as Pinnock with the stop right on Darnold, but he did reach out throughout. And more offensive is the formations throughout. Yeah, they did have Josh Jones return to this game. Seattle's 4th-9 on 3rd down. 3rd and 2.5 to go. Ball is at the 25-yard line. First down markers at 27.5. trips left, one right. Darnold throws a bullet, first down. It is Cooper Kupp, Mr. Third Down. The former Los Angeles Ram with another big catch. And again, Tatum Buffoon is hurt. He came back to the game. He's been in and out of this lineup with injuries. That's the second time that he's been hurt. And he's in considerable pain. We'll step away for this moment. I just can't believe that. Oh, man. Just can't imagine what happens tomorrow. Because starting next week, may chaos ensue in the playoffs. No matter who it is. 14 teams enter. Only one will leave a champion. So now we went over the playoff scenarios. Now let's go over the tankathon scenarios. The Raiders clinched the first pick with a loss, a Giants win, or 3 or more combined losses from any of the Bears, Falcons, Seahawks, and or Browns. This last scenario is for the Giants clinching at least a tie in strength of schedule over the Raiders. The Giants clinched the first pick with a loss, a Raiders win, and 1.5 or more combined losses from the Lions, Saints, 49ers, and Bengals. So if the 49ers lose, that is for the Raiders clinching a strength of schedule tiebreaker over the Giants. So the first pick is between the Raiders and Giants. But no matter what happens, I'd imagine that the Giants are going to stay away from quarterback because they already have theirs with Jackson Dart and instead focus on other issues. Maybe linebacker with Arvell Reese because it's set in stone. Fernando Mendoza will be a Raider. Oh. We're also going to keep an eye out on other scenarios. Miami and Ole Miss will take on each other at the Fiesta Bowl. Oregon and Indiana in the Peach Bowl. Indiana is the odds-on championship favorite after Ohio State was upset by Miami, the biggest upset in the 12-team playoffs. In the first 136 seasons in Indiana program history, they have a .418 win percentage and just 7 weeks in the AP Top 5. Under Kurt Signetti, they've significantly improved and spent 11 weeks in the AP Top 5. K9 on first down, one hop this time. One first down this time. 12 yards for K9 on the run to the right. It's an outside zone. 11 yards they're going to mark it. Diameter Lenore to stop. They start this drive from the 3. After that drop from Christian McCaffrey, it's been a non-factor in this game. And the win is starting to come in some more. 86 yards for Walker, 59 for Charbonnet. Walker's in the game again. He gets the rock again. Splits the middle and some tackles. Another first down. Seattle's trying to wrap this game up and the NFC West, much like it was in 2013 with the Legion of Boom. This is the... And who says that the Seahawks can't come up clutch on offense? Because everybody is playing their role to perfection. JSN, Cooper Kupp, Sam Darnold, everybody on this group. Even Elijah Arroyo missing time of an injury. Here's a play fake. Darnold steps up and dumps out for Charbonnet. Charbonnet can't get away with the tackle. It is 6 yards. She was limited to by Jair Brown. If the Seahawks hold on, they'll be getting the top seed in the NFC for the first time since almost coming close to repeating as Super Bowl champions. 2nd and 4, shotgun, to left and to right. Charbonnet's the running back. Darnold hands off to Charbonnet on the left side. There's an open hole and a first down. He's still going. As he pushes that pile, there's some more with him. It is 6 yards. He carried Farrell and Elliott with him. He didn't have to do a lot. And though he has the only touchdown this game, Seattle's averaging 5.4 yards per rush. Darnold doesn't have to do too much. 19-24, 174 yards of offense. Time running out here. The 49ers, he had their worst point in total in a while. Darnold on a play fake. Walker of a good block. He throws it downfield. Nearly intercepted, but it was caught out of bounds. The throw was high. It was touched by Jackson Smith-Njigba and caught by Malik Mustafa, but the catch was out of bounds. Only one of those feet were down. He did not establish both his feet down. It was not an easy throw for Darnold to make. He had to place that perfectly. The clock stops at 4:23. There's still time for San Francisco to do something, but time is fleeting and quick. Run to the right for Walker. And not letting go was Keon White. He just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Both White and Jason Pinnock, the former New York Giant, both combined for the tackle. And San Francisco calls their first timeout with 4:12 to go. It's their first timeout of this second half. And we're still anticipating what is to come out of this next play for Seattle. And if San Francisco can at least get an answer on defense, because there's been too much bending, and the too much bending is starting to catch up to them. Seattle put them in a trench warfare that the Niners can't get themselves out of. 3rd and 10. It will be a 54-yard kick for Eddie Pinheiro from this spot. The Seahawks are intent on running down more clock. Now 2 scores. And Sam We Trust posters among Seahawks faithful here at Levi's Stadium. This game has progressed rather quickly. Sam Darnold, 19-25 for 174 yards, and Seattle was living comfortably at the San Francisco zone for a long time. Here's Darnold, who steps up, rolls out right, trying to find someone, throws downfield, wide open as Cup, past the 20, and past the 15. That might be the dagger. Throwing towards his right side, and fighting Mr. Reliable, Cooper Kupp, on this rollout play. Kupp, one of the best route runners at his prime, and it's a crossbody throw for Darnold towards the middle of the field. Find the open man, that is Kupp, and he did the rest. Big time players make big time plays.
Absolutely.
Just the second catch of this game. And this was the biggest catch that he's had on this game. Seattle was 6 of 11 on 3rd down. San Francisco, in the meantime, 2 of 8. And the 49ers, they're going to be shaking their head over that missed chance that they had with that Christian McCaffrey drop in the end zone. Not in the end zone, but at the 2-yard line. In which it landed on the hands of Drake Thomas. Thought it was a catch at first. Charbonnet over towards the middle. And he goes down. Timeout called by the 49ers. 3:57 left. Now the 49ers are out of timeouts, and they'll have a huge uphill climb if they want to do something that's almost impossible for them. One of the key weaknesses, the biggest weakness that this team has is no pass rush. And the defense is too bend but don't break. You can only do so much bending before you break. The other downside to the 49ers is how you also stop them. Hold a lead in the fourth quarter. Especially those of at least a touchdown. The 49ers can play from in front, but they're not built to play from behind. And it's been evidenced time and time again under Kyle Shanahan. Sauber motions left. It's 2nd and 7 after that first down run from Charbonnet. Charbonnet again spins out one man, and he gets 3 more yards. And because the Niners are out of timeouts, they cannot use another one here. The Seahawks have all 3 of them, but don't expect them to use one of them. 3rd and 4. With 3:40 left. It is 1st down here as Charbonnet took this handoff towards the left side. And a good double team block from Sauber. And I believe that is Robbie Outs, the fullback. Yes. No fumbles on 521 touches for Charbonnet. And he's been money in the goal-to-go situations. Jake Bobo motions to the slot. Charbonnet trying to get a 1st down. He will not get there. The 49ers hold him off. And Quint Kubiak has some options with him. Malik Mustafa came in to make the stop. And they're going to keep the offense on the field for 4th and 1. Which will be the 16th play of this drive that's taken 7:40 off the clock. Just a well-executed drive by this offense. Extra lineman here. This is a tush-push formation on 4th and 1. Are they going to get this done, or is it going to be a fake tush-push? They're not going to snap it. They tried to do the hard count on the 49ers. It didn't work. And they'll take the delay of game penalty. They've done that from time to time this season with that. 2:24. 4th and 6 after that delay of game penalty. So they're going to kick a field goal with Jason Myers, which should be the dagger. That tush push. Brock Purdy readies up. This will be a 26-yarder. He made his last 2 kicks. He's one of the best kickers in the NFL. And he doinks this off the right upright. It's still a 10-point game. Wow.
Oh, my Lord.
He's missed 2 out of 4. Oh, my goodness.
Seahawks. This is why it's a divisional game. But this is why the Seahawks, even when they are the best team in the NFC, no one takes them seriously. Because when it matters, when it counts, they wait too long to drive the dagger in.
Ooh, Purdy got hit as he threw the ball. Now Marcus Robinson the target. Byron Murphy the second. Not onto him. And the NFL has been a complete seesaw of emotions all year long. And this game is going to continue that theme. How do you... I mean, you made from 45 and 37. There should be no way you should take this right off the right upright. Now it's 2nd and 10. Purdy, well protected, swings it out left side. Low pass, and McCaffrey's tackled inbounds. Clock is continuing to roll. They're going to have to clock it. They're going to get into field goal range, kick it right away, and get an onside kick recovery. There's not a lot of room for error for this Niner offense. The Seahawks defense has been a story. We'll be right back after this 2-minute warning. 13-3 when we return. Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
Just, there's no way. There's no way. Ain't no way. We're just in disbelief. Divisional football. Full of chaos like this. Especially when you have, speaking of missed field goals, that one Seahawks-Cardinals game where you had like 3 missed kicks in that overtime when it was 6-6 the final. There should be no way. Absolutely no way. Oh. Oh. This just... We can't believe what we're seeing in our very eyes. I mean... I was just going to say, Atlanta, win tomorrow, and we'll forgive you for past sins.
You know what? If they win tomorrow, dare I say it, the football gods may reward them next season.
I mean, that and they're making the Rams pick worse.
That too.
Which, to be honest, if the Rams are looking for a quarterback, if taking Ty Simpson the first round is extremely risky. I think he likely falls to early day 2 pick.
Are they really thinking that the Rams will go quarterback?
Let's think about the Stafford retirement rumors. He doesn't have to retire now, but it's about addressing the future of the quarterback position on the Rams. 13-3, Seattle still leads after 2 Jason Myers misses. One wide right, the other hitting the upright. Purdy in tight coverage, and it's broken up. Josh Jobe. It was right there, right in George Kittle's vicinity. The game comes down to this. For San Francisco to stay alive, no matter how fleeting those chances may be, it was too far from Kittle's outstretched hands. Miss on this one, and Seattle can run the rest of the clock out. Excellent coverage by Jobe. Here's Purdy. Seattle rushes 4. Purdy, hands he through it! And the pass is incomplete! The Seahawks will run away from Levi Stadium with the 1 seed and the NFC North. And Brock Purdy, to add insult to injury for the 49ers, to go on with the injuries to D. Winters and Tatum McFune, Brock Purdy is slow to get up.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, injury to insult.
A quick correction. That's the NFC. That's the NFC West. I heard you say the NFC North, but I get it. It's exciting. The Seahawks have captured the division. They've captured the 1 seed. They look like the best. They look like the best team in the NFL. Yes, I'm saying that over the Pats because I don't trust the Patriots. But it will. But the NFC will go through Seattle for how many games? That's to be determined.
Oh, an NFC West title for the first time since the Russell Wilson era. The top seed for the first time since the Legion of Boom. Somewhere, you may be wondering how Richard Sherman is feeling given that he's played for both Seattle and San Francisco. It's going to be 3 kneel downs for the Seahawks. There's the first one. And the Seahawks are starting to wave goodbye to the 49ers crowd. They're hugging and embracing each other on the sidelines, having completed a successful season. They have won the NFC West, won the top seed, and a first round bye. The playoffs run through them on the NFC side. Second-year head coach Mike McDonald saying, "Take that, Baltimore."
And Sam Darnold just shut up everybody.
Yes, he did. Yeah, remember when we said he's more of a Joe Flacco type? We weren't lying, Ian.
No, we weren't. And now that contract that the Seahawks gave out is, at least for the first year, looking like a well thought out investment.
It is. So there's 2 kneel downs, just one more. One more snap. Right, and there's the final kneel down. And I guess we're just going to count down the seconds like it's New Year's Day. So the Seahawks have clinched the NFC top seed and the NFC West. And as the clock keeps counting down, your final score 13-3. The Seahawks win a tight defensive battle between 2 defensive geniuses in Robert Saleh and Mike McDonald. As it counts down, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, Seattle! And this has been the best New Year's present that Seahawks can ask for.
Yep, and before we sign off on this broadcast, Alec, you heard me bring up the Luka thing earlier, but now I'm about to drive a dagger into another fan base's hearts. Vikings fans, do you want to talk about it?
Well, we said their plan was clear after last year's stinkers to end the season that they go to J.J. McCarthy. Well, there are only 2 words to say this. Oof, my on. Well, he was bad in his first full year playing QB with the Vikings, but with the way Max Brosmer played, yeah, a laughing cop would have done that. But let's say this. Seeing Brosmer play, Vikings fans would be begging for McCarthy to be under center. Because this man, Brosmer, had less passing yards on that Christmas Day game against the Lions than Nikola Jokic had points on Christmas Day. And the Vikings still knocked out the Lions from the playoffs.
And Max Brosmer, he has an official NFL win. Think about that. A guy who probably didn't expect to see the field this season, has an official NFL win against a divisional opponent.
Oh, man. That's just diabolical to think of here. Brian Flores kept spamming blitz, 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 blitz. And it works against Goff.
Yep, and the Detroit window is closing. Fun fact, I just saw this on the scroller on ESPN's. Despite there being a loss, a 7-3 loss to the Lightning, the 3 goals scored by the San Jose Sharks tonight were all by 1 player. So in a losing effort, I think that was Regenda.
Pavel Regenda.
Pavel Regenda has a hat trick.
That was outstanding. So yeah. It's just so on the Twitch chat, that was a good game, even if low scoring. It says Willems wasn't there. Well, it was a good game throughout, and we got treated to a defensive clinic from the Seattle Seahawks. What a game this was. And Seattle got themselves the best New Year's present ever. So that's going to do it. Anything else before we wrap this up ahead of tomorrow's Steelers-Ravens game?
No, sir, except Falcons. Do it. Do it.
Please. We're praying for the best hilarity. All right. We'll take an eye out for tomorrow's playoff implication games. For now, from Ian Genge and Alec Nava, we say good night from Levi Stadium. And Happy New Year, everyone. Good to see you for many more broadcasts to come throughout the year 2026.
Yeah, keep an eye out, people.
Oh, one more thing. Hey, one more thing. Yes. Hey, Jake. Hope you have a good... he says, this is a comment from him. It said, Jake from Foursquare on the old Twitch account. Just want to say hi to you, Alec. Hope you have a good night, man. Thanks for tuning in, Jake. Have a good night, man.
And fasten your seatbelts, folks.
Right, it's about to get crazy.
It's about to get crazy because even after the NFL season's over, if hockey keeps doing, if hockey is this tightly packed, oh, the broadcasts are going to be money.
Especially the Olympics. We'll keep an eye out for that. All right, good night.
Good night, man.